Chapter 101 Duzong Strong, so terrifying. It's just you. What's wrong with the snake people having two Duhuang strongmen? Why are you so pedantic? Medusa's eyes were full of horror and anger. She was only a little bit closer. After she came back from the top war, she began to retreat and cultivate, but her strength still did not break through. But with the help of a powerful formation and the four elders, her chances of winning are slim. Bold, now that you haven't ascended to the throne of queen, do you dare to be rude to Big Matsuri? I am entrusted by the previous queen, and I follow the rules of the powerful snake people. How can I let you dictate? Hurry up, or don't blame the old man for not giving you a chance. The elder's face was hidden in the grimace mask, and the old voice resounded throughout the hall. Power is the most tempting poison in the world, and he has been completely corrupted by power. The reason why he made the decision to let the two sisters kill each other was because he was afraid that there would be two Medusa queens in the snake race and it would be difficult to control. If there was only one left, he would not be able to escape from his palm no matter what. If both sides suffer, it will be even more perfect. The entire desert will fall into his hands completely. He is the real king here, master the fate of all creatures. Sister, kill me, you are the real queen. I believe that under your leadership, the snake people will be stronger. At this time, Dai put the exquisite dagger in Medusa's hand and aimed it at her throat. If only one of the two could survive, she hoped that the one who survived would be her sister, who was the one in her life. Favorite person. No, we're all going to live. Medusa's eyes are full of suffocation. Why is she desperately participating in the top war? Isn't it just to change this damn fate? Even if she puts her life on the line, she wants to let her sister live. Her hands, Yuhi-colored grudge was wrapped around her, and she smashed the dagger into powder. At the same time, she bent bows and arrows, and the terrifying energy of heaven and earth immediately swept through the formation. Open! With a loud shout, the shot bow and arrow turned into a 100-meter-long fire dragon and rushed towards the direction of the Great Matsuri division. Unfortunately, there is a formation guard here. The fire dragon encountered a transparent barrier and exploded violently. Still haven't smashed the formation. The pinnacle of Dohuang. How old is Medusa? How can she have such a terrifying talent? Big Matsuri's pupils shrank slightly. The blow just now made him feel the taste of death. If it wasn't for the great formation to block him, he might have died. He originally thought that Medusa was just an ordinary Duhuang, but he didn't expect her strength to be so powerful. So powerful. If Medusa is given a few years, there is a high chance of breaking through to become a strong Dozong. Then his dream will be shattered, and the entire Jama Empire will not be able to find a few Dozongs. Come here. Medusa has committed the following crime, trying to assassinate me and the four elders. Arrest her for me, and put her in jail. When he thought of the possible revenge in the future, he simply turned his heart away and used the last resort. He had already ambushed heavy soldiers here, all the dead men who had been cultivated over the years. Using the power of the formation to kill Medusa, the remaining weak butterfly pushed the queen's throne in order to control the entire snake people. Damn! Medusa sighed secretly. She still underestimated the cunning of the Big Matsuri division. Did not expect that her sudden retreat action aroused the suspicion of the Big Matsuri division, and brought forward the time of the queen's ceremony by several months. She could have gone further. Sister, I used space ninjutsu to help you escape. Don't worry about me, Big Matsuri will not do anything to me. Dai saw a group of soldiers with sharp weapons rushing towards Medusa's position, and immediately became anxious. She has the talent of space ability, and cannot move the target in a certain area. The reason why Medusa is one people run away because her ability is too weak, and moving two people at the same time will greatly reduce the chance of success. Absolutely not. Your spatial ability is not skilled at all, and you will have unpredictable consequences if you activate it rashly. Dai, you must listen to me, I will not let you suffer any harm. A hint of panic flashed in Medusa's eyes. In the memory copy, she saw Dai's future. Dai lost her memory due to energy conflict after launching a space fighting skill. Later, She died at her own hands because of a series of accidents. Could it be? Will history repeat itself again? Is this the fate that the master of the group said? But, it's too late. Butterfly waved and used fighting skills to push down a few people, but this time, the Big Matsuri division prepared too many people. If you can't capture the Big Matsuri division, these trash fish alone can consume a lot of their fighting spirit. No, Butterfly, don't do stupid things. Medusa has never been so sad when she grew up. Seeing her sisters walking into the abyss step by step, she felt a sense of powerlessness enveloped her body. Maybe this was the power of fate, and any efforts she made were in vain. When she was extremely desperate, she suddenly received a system message and opened it to see that it was Bai Su's private chat. Bai Su, what are you busy with? The big guys in the group are chatting so lively, and you haven't come out to cheer. In Uncle Ying's world, the big guys in the group are partying and celebrating. With Madame Guo's craftsmanship and the fragrance of bamboo leaf green, they are so drunk that they are almost unable to walk. Bai Su also subconsciously chatted. Speaking of which, this was the first time he took the initiative to care about female group members. Medusa is indeed different. He still remembers the long flowing purple tail in the war on the top. Bai Su, that's right. Dimensional chat group. Maybe someone can really help me. Bai Su, listen to what I tell you. I am in danger, save us. As long as my sister is safe and sound, I will give you anything you want. Medusa repelled a doe queen with one palm, sent a message back to Bai Su, and then waited minute by minute for the reply. She felt that the time was so long. Big Matsuri can't hold back anymore. The four elders are strengthening the formation together. Under the suppression of the formation, she may not even be able to exert 50% of her strength. Ding! You have received a private message, please check it. When she opened the message, she found only 2 words on it: wait for me. A golden portal appeared in the hall, and the aura of supremacy showed a trace. The originally unbreakable formation burst apart, the 4 elders vomited blood, and thousands of snake people squatted on the ground, unable to even move their bodies. That's... Butterfly's body was bursting with brilliance. After seeing a wise man walking out of the golden portal, he subconsciously cancelled the fighting skill. Who is this? The momentum is like Kun is in the world. If she is not standing by her sister's side, she feels like she will kneel down. You're here. A beautiful smile bloomed on Medusa's beautiful face. As the appointed queen of the snake people, she seldom showed this side to men. Well, you'll be fine. Bai Su nodded. He didn't even hesitate just now. He put down the bamboo leaf green wine and rushed over. He admitted that he was a little selfish. Medusa's temperament was too special. He hadn't seen her for a long time. He missed this woman a little. What the hell is this? Walking in the air. Dozong's powerhouse is so terrifying. Big Matsuri exclaimed, wearing a grimace mask, so he couldn't see his expression clearly, but he could feel that he had lost an inch. Dozong is almost a taboo existence in the Jama Empire. This is just a small border country. Most of the strong people who enter Dozong's realm go to the central area in pursuit of a higher realm, and there are almost no permanent residents. Human Dozong, what do you want to do? Have you forgotten the agreement between the human race and the snake human race? This is our family affair, it's not your turn to be an outsider to intervene. Medusa, you wolf son of ambition, you dare to seduce the strong human race Dozong to steal the throne of the snake people. This is going to be nailed to the disgraceful Jinchuriki column. Big Matsuri was in a hurry and began to jump, the rage of the incompetent. He did not dare to accuse Bai Su. He could only put the blame on Medusa's head, and used his position to force the other party to compromise. Noisy. Bai Su glanced at Big Matsuri and didn't do anything. The other party fell to his knees on the ground and beat his legs with both hands, but he couldn't stand up. After all, the snake people are a race that is half human and half beast. The perception of danger is innate, and the other party instinctively perceives the danger of death, which is a manifestation of survival. But what this guy said is right. After all, this is an internal matter of your snake people. or it is better to leave it to you. What do you think? Baisu changed his words and suddenly asked Medusa again. Sorry, it's my low strength. Medusa bowed her head in shame. She thought that Baisu would blame herself for being troublesome again, and bothered others indiscriminately, but her situation just now was really bad. If Baisu didn't come to the rescue, she would probably. This necklace is given to you by the mana of a saint. You can borrow its power, but don't rely on it. Your talent is very strong, and sooner or later you will stand at the top of this world. Work hard, next time we all go to other worlds to take risks. Baisu found a dark blue gem in his hand, exuding a hazy light, as if it could reflect the human heart. He personally put the gem on Medusa's snow-white neck. With this gem as a foil, Medusa has become more holy and more beautiful. My God, sister, this is too beautiful, such a mysterious gift. Dai unknowingly covered her cheeks with her hands. They lived in the palace, and I don't know how many precious gems I have seen, but this is the first time I have encountered such a beautiful one. Chapter 102. A Woman's Waist, a Deadly Knife. Ding! Congratulations on getting the Heart of the Ocean. Heart of the Ocean. The appearance is a bright dark blue transparent diamond, which is actually transformed by the mana of the saint. It is a rare body protection magic weapon. The lower the strength, the greater the effect. Wearing effect, people below the second level wear it, and the level can be increased by a small level regardless of the level, and there are no side effects. Active skill, Blessing. When you take a lot of damage, you can activate the power of the saint, which can be worth the effect of the saint's initial full blow. This is. When Kale and Medusa saw the introduction of Heart of the Ocean, Chingchung's face showed a lovely expression. Even as a Duhuang strong, she could not imagine that there is such a treasure in the world. Ignoring the level of the master's realm, she was originally the pinnacle of Dohuang, so wouldn't it be better to bring this gem? While thinking like this, her body defied gravity and slowly floated up. This was her understanding of the rules and one of Dozong's greatest signs. Kai Lin, don't be stubborn, it is against the will of the queens of all dynasties to collude with the human race. Duzong. Big Matsuri tried to confuse Medusa, but the other party's eyes glanced over, and the majestic gaze made him subconsciously shut his mouth. Presumptuous. I'm the queen. The terrifying aura rushed out of the hall and swept over half of the desert. After sensing the aura, all the warriors of the snake tribe crawled to the ground, expressing their surrender. Duzong strong, so terrifying. Baisu also secretly praised from the side, Queen Medusa's temperament is too cold and arrogant, the perfect body and a long purple tail add a touch of exoticism. Duzong. Sister broke through Duzong. This is the real queen. Big Matsuri, you dare not kneel when you see the queen, are you going to rebel? Although Dai didn't know what happened, she was sincerely happy for her sister. There is no Dozong in such a huge Jama empire. With Queen Medusa in charge, the sisters of the snake race will get rid of the fate of being enslaved by the strong human race. See, Her Majesty. Big Matsuri swayed for a while, and finally knelt down. His absolute strength can smash any conspiracy. Dozong is a realm that the previous generation of queens has not reached. Medusa's talent is really scary. The matter here is over, and it's time for me to go back. Something went wrong in Uncle Ying's world this time. You are missing a drink, remember to make up for it next time. Baisu saw that the matter was successfully resolved, and was ready to withdraw. He was not going to go back to Uncle Ying to continue the banquet. He left the work of Hokage to Tsunade and Shizune, and just went back to check the results. Don't go, stay and attend my ceremony. The queen's enthronement ceremony is only once per generation. I hope you can stay in this world. Medusa subconsciously held Baisu's hand. This man was too different, full of sacredness and unknown. Even as a queen, she couldn't help but admire her. As a queen, she always acted decisively. Dare to fight for things. That's right. Just stay. Although we are in a desert here, there are also many delicious ottomans. I'll help you pick them out in a while. Dai also rushed up and hugged Baisu's other arm. Baisu only felt that the arm was stuck in an elastic place. The hotness of the snake woman made him embarrassed to bow his head, for fear of seeing some nosebleed scenery. The two sisters waited on the left and the right, even the gods and demons would be shaken. Baisu always felt that he had a firm mind, but he unexpectedly replied, "Okay. It's not bad to watch the ceremony together." Dreadful event of the snake people for decades. Although Big Matsuri has deliberately dealt with the Medusa sisters, the ceremony is nothing to say. It is carried out according to the standards set by the previous queens, and it has not shrunk at all. Thousands of serpent warriors lined up in a square to welcome the queen's review. They dared not look up into the queen's eyes, but their hearts were full of excitement. The Duki continent is a world where the weak eat the weak, and only the great Her Majesty can lead the way. Clan get out of trouble. On the high platform, Baisu and Dai were sitting in the elder's seat, looking at the fruit in front of them. They looked like they were out of the way. Unreasonable elders kept casting doubtful glances, but the two of them kept going their own way. "Isn't it? Are your desert fruits so delicious? What's the name of this dragon fruit-like stuff? The texture and taste are simply invincible." Baisu didn't expect this kind of specialty to be found here. The fruit from the desert is extremely sweet, and it's a pleasure to eat. He is considered to be highly respected in the Hokage world, but the fruit he eats is definitely not comparable to this. Dragon fruit. What is that? The cactus fruit you just ate is an extremely rare elixir. This one has been around for 100 years, so it is very difficult to collect. Dai shook her head gently, and she pushed her own chair in front of Baisu. She and her sister Medusa were identical twins. They grew up together, and even their aesthetics were similar. She has never seen the outside world, and Baisu is not only powerful, but has also been to many interesting places, and she was attracted unconsciously. "As expected of a man that my sister likes, I wonder if my sister will agree to give me half of it." She couldn't help muttering to herself. "Huh, what did you say?" Baisu raised his head. His hearing was good, but he couldn't understand half of what it meant. He remembered that the snake people should not have the habit of eating people. "Ah, it's nothing, Master Baisu. If you try this again, it's also freshly picked." Dai quickly used her jade hand to put an amethyst grape into Baisu's mouth. "It's just a matter of thinking about the kind of thing just now. If someone heard it, it would probably cause a sensation and ridicule. What about stealing a man?" The enthronement ceremony lasted for a whole day. Baisu had tried every kind of spiritual fruit accumulated by the snake people, and found that some kind of cactus fruit was more delicious. "Master Baisu, you can just sleep here. I can ask the maids to come and dance at night. Our snake girls' dance is unique in the world. Not every Duzong can have the opportunity to feast their eyes." The two sisters brought Baisu to the splendid palace and pointed to a room. The beds here were all made of precious wood and inlaid with gold, showing a luxurious atmosphere. The waist of a woman, the knife that kills you, and the waist of a snake-human woman is the king of knives. The strong men in Duki continent are proud of having a snake-human maid, and Baisu can be like an emperor here. Enjoy the service of the maids at any time. Cough cough. This is unnecessary, thank you for your hospitality, I really should go. What Baisu was about to say, a cold finger suddenly placed on his mouth, and Queen Medusa bullied him, forcing him to have no way out. "Do you really have the heart to leave at this time?" I said, "as long as you save the butterfly, I will do anything." "Would you like to know whether the Serpent Queen is cold or hot?" The long purple tail slowly wrapped around Baisu's body, and Queen Medusa's alluring face was close at hand. After seeing the movements of the two, Dai seemed to suddenly understand something, and Yuhi slipped out of the pretty face. She and her sister Medusa have completely opposite personalities. She is lively and active, but she is really very timid, and she can't do such active things at all. "I guess it should be cold." Baisu felt a little dry, and as soon as he closed his eyes, a cold thing was attached to his Zui-chan. ... For the entire 3 hours, the battle was fierce. At the time of the truce, Medusa finally had time to join the group chat, and it happened that everyone was there. Uncle Ying, this time I really got the light of the big guys. If Master Baisu hadn't led everyone to Renjia town, I'm afraid I'd be more fortunate now. And Izumi Sagiri, strange, Baisu-sama hasn't finished drinking and left. He said there is something important, why hasn't it bubbling yet? Could it be that he's drunk? Chasing 10 school beauties this year, impossible. Brother Bai doesn't get drunk after 1,000 cups. I'm still very clear about this point. He has a lot of opportunities and may have just experienced a brutal battle. Medusa, he slept. Women always have their own thoughts. After reaching this point, she naturally developed this idea. She is the queen of the snake people. How can she feel at ease as a little woman behind the scenes? And Izumi Sagiri, who's sleeping? Sister Medusa said something without end. I thought. Butterfly house owner. I seem to understand something, but I don't seem to understand anything. I'm missing some key information. Is there any evidence at Medusa? Mrs. Guo, it's better to take a photo or something to increase the persuasion. ... Medusa's words completely ignited the fire of the women's 8 trigrams. Does this mean Baisu? This is too much, can't even wait for the time to finish drinking. Medusa, I received a gift today, just to share it with you, Heart of the Ocean.jpg. The group members were attracted by the picture she posted, a dark blue transparent gem with a text introduction. Heart of the Ocean, transformed by the mana of the sage, it is currently in a sealed state. Wearing it under the sage can increase it by 1 rank. The stronger the wearer, the weaker the effect. Uncle Ying, ignore the level and force you to upgrade to a big realm. This is simply a treasure passed down from generation to generation. Medusa, Baisu, who else is there besides him? Actually, people don't want such an expensive gift. With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with gods, fuck. Uncle Ying, fuck. Chasing 10 school beauties this year, fuck. And Izumi Sagiri, gone. Chapter 103 Shu Xian's Happiness. Super God World. Zhe Xiaolun put down the textbook in his hand and silently looked at the moon outside the window, his expression seemed a little melancholy. He said to himself, as expected, Brother Bai, his ability to pick up girls is beyond the imagination of ordinary people. It's just that I said in the group last time that Brother Bai doesn't like women. How should I explain this in the future? Marvel World. The ice in Tony's hand fell to the ground with a clatter, and he felt that something in his heart shattered along with it. Dog Group Owner, why? Affectionately lost to a fierce rival, I am the one who is most loyal to you in the group. Tiangong City. A lowly in a school uniform was walking down the street. His long black hair was tied into 2 braids and he deliberately covered his left eye. The men around him unconsciously turned their attention to the long black silk legs, even the ones in front of him. The telephone poles were not noticed. Poles, pulling. It seems that someone who is not in the past few days is the idea of making white superstin. The man belongs to me. The shadow of a golden clock lit up in her left eye, and a mysterious smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. During this time, she was looking for the core members of the Dem Club. Although Takamiya Mio distorted the fate of countless people, Westcott and others still had to bear the initial sin. In order to obtain the spirit crystals in the elves, they could use the neighboring world. Covering the earth revenge on human beings, and founded the Dem Company, the first-generation spirit Takamiya Mio was summoned by them. Uncle Ying, Medusa, is it convenient to lend me this gem for 2 days? No, 1 day. No, 3 hours is fine. I want to experience the feeling of the next realm, and then go to enlightenment. It will definitely be twice the result with half the effort. Medusa, no, my clan has a rule that women's necklaces cannot be borrowed, otherwise there will be bad luck. Ying Ying baby. Who said that the queen is cold and arrogant? Once the queen becomes cute, there will be no other woman. Uncle Ying. With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with gods, master of the dog group, get out. I need an explanation. What about being each other's dogs? Have you forgotten? _ by Sue. Butterfly house owner. By Sue, do you look at that cloud in the sky? Does it look like the heart of an ocean? And Izumi Sagiri. People. People also want a heart of the ocean, baby. Ellipsis. The members of the group started to riot. The effect of a heart of the ocean could not be exchanged for 3,000 points. Why would Medusa receive such a gift? Adultery. What's the situation? Bai Su opened his eyes from Shenyu Taishu, and sent him too many private messages. His mailbox was about to explode. 90% of them were sent by Tony. All body data. What does this kid want to do? Buy me, please. After seeing the style of the queen, how could you be interested in these vulgar fans? Ding. With the body of a mortal, he was banned from speaking for 1 minute on par with gods. Butterfly house owner. Authority dog haunts. Everyone be careful. Uncle Ying. The authority dog is haunting. Everyone be careful. And Izumi Sagiri. The authority dog is haunting. Everyone be careful. Ellipsis. Bai Su. Cough cough. It's getting late. Everyone rest early. Good night. At this time, don't explain it. The more he describes it, the darker it gets. When he sees Queen Medusa giggling beside him, he can't help but slap it down, making a crisp sound. Are you awake, Fu Lord Kun? Queen Medusa lay lazily on top of him, and her long purple tail was entwined again. Only now did he understand Shu Xian's happiness. The fierce battle situation began again, except for the necessary intermission. He even kept the system beeping aside. Neither of them thought that when they woke up again, it was 3 days later. ... See her, Lady Queen. A team of maids from the snake people knelt down on one knee. Dai knew what happened to the two and sent a team of female bodyguards to guard them. Fortunately, Bai Su had already isolated this space with force, and no one would break in. Go with. Well, call the elders of the clan to discuss the rules for governing the snake people. Queen Medusa is still a glamorous color, and she always looks majestic when she doesn't speak. Occasionally, when she sees Bai Su, her eyes become extremely gentle. She has lived here since she was a child, and she knows the rules of the snake people very well. In fact, she seems to have made some changes. Now she finally has the ability to command the snake people. She wants to turn this place into a beautiful home, no matter how powerful Do Wang, Do Huang, and ordinary people who can't even cultivate Dochi can live a happy life. Kai Lin, Bai Su has no task in this world and should have left long ago, but now that the relationship between the two has made substantial progress, he suddenly doesn't know what to say. Good, let Dai take you to relax. Take a rest if you have nothing to do, and leave the rest to me to solve. Queen Medusa patted Bai Su on the shoulder and walked out of the palace with the guards. Since the enthronement ceremony, she has not gone out for 3 days. She has to deal with the affairs of the clan, and she definitely has no time to accompany Bai Su. She gave Bai Su an apologetic look and left in a hurry. Good. Bai Su stood there in a daze for a long time. He seemed to be treated as a little puppy. He is now a third-order powerhouse, barely reaching the realm of a saint. His body is indestructible. This woman actually let him rest. Is this what it feels like to be nurtured by a queen? This also. So cool. Bai Su, let's go out for a walk. There are also many interesting things in the desert. I'll take you to a secret base, where only my sister and I know. At this time, Dai jumped in front of Bai Su. She had been here many times in the past 3 days, but she did not expect that the house was protected by an invisible barrier, and with her strength close to Do Huang, she could not approach. She had to instruct the guards to watch over the palace day and night, and tell herself as soon as there was any movement. Okay, let's go. Bai Su nodded. In comparison, Dai was too naive. The other party seemed to regard himself as a young Dozong in the area near the Jama Empire. If he could reach Dozong at his current age, there must be someone behind him. Powerful support is likely to be more powerful than the snake tribe. With his strength, Dozong is not even worthy to lift his shoes, but there is no need to explain this to Dai. The two rode a domesticated beast and started a desert journey. I've been in retreat for 3 days, haven't I? I wonder what happened to the dogs. Vaisus consciousness came to the platform in his mind, and he typed a line. Young people, if you don't see each other for 3 days, do you miss the deity very much? Pointed at was invincible. You are not Zhao Jiayu's eldest girl, why should I miss you? I will really put gold on my face. Bai Su. Dig. It's crazy, who changed the ID? It can't be that second-hand Tony. Is Lao Su used to your stinky problems? I must correct it for you this year. He climbed the stairs and looked at the chat records, and found that this ID is really not easy. He almost scolded the big guys in the group. Except for Jin Yichuan, Medusa, and Tokasaki Kurumi, who were diving daily, almost no one was spared. Tony Steck was originally a living treasure in the group, but this time he was so angry that he stopped talking, and threatened to contact the group owner to kick the other party out. 1, 2, 3. Vaisu counted the group members. There was really one more person. He couldn't help blinking his eyes. He remembered that he hadn't summoned new group members these days. System, is it there? Why is there suddenly one more person in the dimensional chat group? Could it be dressed up by a traveler with a system? Since the battle against the strongest zombie system, he has been very sensitive to this aspect, and he always feels that just the beginning. Ding! After the chat group is active and reaches the standard, there will be an immediate summoning event. The system reminded the host 3 days ago, but the message was filtered by you, please forgive me. Filter. It seems that there is such a thing, but the battle situation was tense at the time, and it was too busy. The message sent by the system is still lying in his message list. Zhao Jiayu. This name is a bit familiar. And this voice is also. Could it be that the big guy in Liangjian, the leader of the independent regiment, Li Yunlong, was invited? This can also explain why the big guys in the group have been scolded over and over again. This guy Li Yunlong drinks a little wine, and it is estimated that there are not many people who can be regarded by him. Even his immediate leaders said he was a dog. Marvel World, Long Island. Tony Stark spit out a sip of Coke. Is this person crazy? If you can't get along with a supreme being, aren't you afraid that the group owner will tear up the space in a fit of anger and go to him for tea? With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with the gods. Rookie, pay attention to your words and deeds. The one who spoke to you just now is the leader of this group, the supreme being, understand? After saying this, Tony's face showed a scheming smile, and at the critical moment, he needed to be rescued by himself. Although the girls in the group have a gender advantage, he is confident and flattering. In the future, he must be the one closest to the group leader. Jian Feng pointed at was invincible, the group leader. What the hell is the group leader? I'm still the leader of the independent regiment. Do you see what I said? The newcomer looked so arrogant, more bosses couldn't stand it, and they began to bubble. Uncle Ying, this brother, it's really a bit too much. This chat group has gathered the big guys from all over the world. If you make enemies everywhere like this, it will be difficult for you to live in the future. And Izumi Sagiri, I can smell the alcohol across the dimensional barrier. This newcomer is probably drunk, and he hasn't woken up for so long. Mrs. Guo, everyone, please stop arguing. The group owner finally came over to keep the channel clean. And Izumi Sagiri, civilization, harmony, freedom, equality. Ellipsis. Jian Feng pointed at was invincible, you young children. Ichiro Harada, the gendarmerie captain in Ping'an County, knows. I can solve it with one shot. I wonder who has this kind of ability. Chapter 104 What the sword points to, is invincible. Ping'an County, Harada Ichiro, brother Yunlong, stay safe. Vaisus' heart moved when he heard this sentence. Although he has been away from that world for a long time, his emotions are still there. He still remembers the classic line of Li Yunlong in his school report speech. In a word, the brave who meet in a narrow road wins, and the spirit of Bright Sword is the soul of our army. The sword's edge is invincible. I didn't expect that the leader of the independent regiment, Li Yunlong, would come to the dimensional chat group. It was a fate. Listening to what he said, the plot seems to have developed to the stage of Zhao Jiayu. This is a hurdle for the independent regiment. Li Yunlong's troops suffered heavy losses and were almost killed. Yamamoto's agent team is destroyed. Jian Feng pointed at was invincible. You kid. What's your origin? How dare you call me a brother? Tell you, except for Chu Yunfei from the 358th Regiment of Jinsui Army, I really don't care about anyone else. Bright Sword World, Zhao Jiayu. Li Yunlong was wearing a light blue overalls and dozing off with a bottle of erguotu. He is now half asleep. Last night, he joined forces with Chu Yunfei, the head of the 358th Regiment of the Jinsui Army, and their respective guards. In the city of Ping'an, disguised and sneaked into Harada Ichiro's birthday party, killing the quartet. As the saying goes, heroes cherish heroes, and the grudge between him and Chu Yunfei in this life has been opened. After receiving the invitation from the dimensional chat group this time, he stumbled and confirmed it, and then he heard some strange voices ringing in his mind. Li Yunlong usually likes to make troubles, so the kung fu of bragging about X is not a cover. The big guys in the gang scolded them one by one. Tony Stark, who has always been proud, was slammed into diving, and now a person with the title of the group owner came out, and he did the same. Bai Su, it sounds like Brother Yunlong is still in Zhaojiayu. I don't know if we can get married. I have a paragraph about your future here. I think you will be interested. Your life will not be smooth. Khan needs attention. Jian Feng pointed at was invincible. Marriage. Do you fucking look down on Lao Su? So many brothers in the independent regiment are bachelors. Why should I, Li Yunlong, make something special? I'll put it here, the battle is not over. We old Li absolutely no wife. Li Yunlong cheered, picked up erguotu and took a sip on the bottle. Now the conditions of the army are not very good. Even if he is the regiment commander, he can't be extravagant and wasteful. Many times he drinks some wine, and it is easier to fall asleep when he is warm. Don't get me wrong, there is no doubt about Brother Yunlong's character, it's just that you have a marriage that is about to appear, and at the same time there is a catastrophe. Bai Su frowned. He guessed that the old boy had drunk a bit, but he didn't expect his tone to be so arrogant. No one in the entire chat group dared to chat with him in such a tone. Jian Feng pointed at was invincible. Don't make a lot of nonsense there. It's still a disaster. Go to the battlefield to inquire. Who doesn't know our old Li's ability? You say you are from that detachment. See if I beat you. This time, Li Yunlong drank 2 kilograms of wine by himself, which was a bit too much. He regarded Bai Su as a soldier of the Independence Regiment, or an inexperienced guy in Zhao Jiayu, who would beat someone when he pulled out the belt. Bai Su, it seems that you are not sober right now. Brother Yunlong, let's continue to communicate when we have time. Ding! What Jianfeng pointed out, Zixiang Invincible was banned for 10 hours. He sighed in his heart. Liangjian was a TV series that he liked very much in his previous life, and he watched it intermittently 5 or 6 times. The life experience of Li Yunlong is embarrassing. The real might man, Zhao Jiayu is an important turning point for this person. But if the other party doesn't appreciate it all the time, he doesn't have to rush to help. With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with gods, the group leader is mighty, and he will rule the rivers and lakes for thousands of years. And Izumi Sagiri, the group leader is mighty, and he will rule the rivers and lakes for thousands of years. Uncle Ying, the group leader is mighty, and he will rule the rivers and lakes for thousands of years. Mrs. Guo, Tony, where did you find your words? These kinds of words are usually called by villains. ... After Li Yunlong was banned, the group finally regained its tranquility. This person's fighting power is too strong. Bai Su is not coming, no one is his opponent, and even Tony is willing to be defeated. And Izumi Sagiri, well, this person doesn't know how much opportunity he has missed. It is rare to see a group owner so enthusiastic about helping a newcomer predict the future. Is there anything special about this newcomer? He does not mean that. Tony thought about it carefully, and suddenly realized that something was wrong. Bai Su was really different to this newcomer. When he came up, he called him Brother Yunlong. The key point was that the other party didn't buy it, and Bai Su was not very angry. Adultery. In the future, he should pay more attention to this newcomer. Now he finally realizes that following the group leader is the most correct choice. Just look at Medusa. A heart of the ocean is enough for them to be born and die several times. Although the strength of the heart of the ocean is not too high, it is strong in ignoring the level increase, and there are no side effects. It is not even the slightest difference in the duel of life and death, let alone a realm. If it is not, this gem has a limit. If it is estimated that it is one of the top treasures of the dimensional chat group. Bai Su, Tony, don't keep thinking about flattering and use your mind on the right path. Your strength is not the bottom in the group, it's almost the same. Technology can supplement some shortcomings, but your own strength is the most reliable. Have you made any progress after studying with Uncle Ying? I have reminded before that there are many terrifying existences in the world you live in. Not to mention the purple potato essence that can wipe out half the population of the universe with a snap of your fingers. Other alien visitors are troublesome enough. With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with gods. About Tony's future, Bai Su knows very well. It is estimated that Thanos is fighting in the universe at this time, collecting infinite gems, and when the nightmare really comes, the world needs heroes. I started to practice Uncle Ying's exercises. It's just a little slow. I haven't been willing to use the points I got from the last mission. After I understand the Tao, it is estimated that my strength can improve a lot. When Tony heard Bai Su's words, he couldn't help swallowing a mouthful of saliva. Although it was only a few words, it also revealed a lot of information. What does it mean to snap your fingers and wipe out half of the population of the universe? Is this a joke? His original wish was just to be an Iron Man who seeks justice, not ready to fight aliens. Hey. Bright Sword World, Zhao Jiayu. About an hour later, Li Yunlong felt agitated and fell off the Kong holding the empty wine bottle. The fall was strong enough that the wine was frightened away a lot, and his mind was instantly sober. Fuck. Dreaming, bragging with a group of people. Our old Li can't do anything else. Who is afraid of bragging about X? One of those people counts as one, and they were all scolded by Lao Su. Li Yunlong stroked his forehead with his calloused hand, and some fragmentary memories came to his mind. Is this a dream? Why is it so real? No, he felt that he was concentrated, and he could find the dimensional chat group, and even turn to the chat records. What the hell? This big black sky is not so scary. Head. At this time, a fragrant wind hit. Li Yunlong looked up, and the person who came was a young woman, with a beautiful appearance, 2 braids, wearing a small floral jacket, a mature figure, and when she smiled, it made people feel like a spring breeze. Oops. Sister Shokin, why are you here in this big night? Please have a seat. Old Li's eyes almost straightened when he saw it, but he quickly reacted and invited Shokin to take a seat. His tone was completely different from his usual loud voice. If he didn't know, he would have thought that old Li was born in embroidery. Suddenly someone came to visit and interrupted all his thoughts. Regarding the chat group in his mind, he had not yet come to a conclusion. If he is stunned, he should find a goddess to take a look. Although his old Li doesn't believe this, he grew up in a ravine since he was a child, and he has heard a lot of stories about gods and ghosts. Head of the regiment, I heard that you have done a great job this time, and specially went to change 2 bottles of good wine, and a basket of freshly steamed wowotu, which I brought to you together. Shokin is a female cadre of Zhao Jiayu, and she is also an excellent lesbian. She is so beautiful and is famous in 8 townships. People who come to ask for relatives will break the threshold, but she will never be seen because she wants to marry a hero. Li Yunlong can satisfy all her fantasies about heroes. In the army, Li Yunlong's name is like thunder. If you want to say which regiment leader can cause trouble the most, it must be the leader of the independent regiment. Single-handedly rushing into the little devil's birthday party, this kind of courage is not available to everyone. This incident has spread throughout the county in just one night. Shokin can't sleep no matter what she thinks, she simply has a heart broken. Took advantage of the night to come to Li Yunlong's door. At this time, she found that Li Yunlong was picking his feet unconsciously. The man in the ravine could not avoid such a small gesture. Instead of disgusting, she exclaimed, "Yeah. Such a big blood bubble, you are the head of the regiment. What's wrong? It hurts to walk. Wait for me to pick it up with an awl for you, the pus will come out quickly." Was a distressed expression on her face, and she didn't dislike Li Yunlong's dirty feet. After finding the awl, she held it directly in her arms and carefully opened the blood blisters. Can't. Li Yunlong felt stiff all over. He was drinking with his colleagues and often boasted about how many friends he had in his hometown. In fact, he was a rough guy. Where did he see Kazahana Shuiyu? He struggled symbolically for a few times, and finally became quiet. Down. After so many years of fighting in the south and the north, he had suffered all kinds of hardships. At this time, he suddenly felt that if there was such a woman by his side, his life would become more complete. "Captain, what do you think of me?" At this time, Shokin asked abruptly. Chapter 105 Li Yunlong, I just hugged. Not bad, you work hard. You have a high level of consciousness. Your shoes are also good. Li Yunlong's voice was getting smaller and smaller. He found that there was a light in Shokin's eyes, which was so attractive. At this moment, he even had the idea of starting a family. Nope. It was agreed that after the war, he would start a family. As the head of the independent regiment, how could he start this? "Captain, what's wrong with you? A 5-foot-tall man, how can he not even lift his head when he speaks? I'm a girl in the mountains, uneducated, and don't understand the twists and turns. I told you so, I like you." Shokin is a person who dares to love and hate. In this age of war, she yearns for pure love and is willing to bear any price. "Shokin, aren't you at war? Maybe one day I'll." Li Yunlong has been in the army for so many years, and he never frowned even when the enemy's bayonet was on his back, but now he is really panicked. He is afraid that he will let down a pure and kind woman, and he is even more afraid that he will indulge in the land of gentleness among them, dare not take the lead in charging. Don't talk nonsense. You are a hero, how can a hero not have a wife? If you like me, I will be your wife, serve you, and love you. If one day you really have 3 strengths and 2 weaknesses, I will raise the child alone and let the child continue to kill devils. When Shokin talked about the emotional part, she took the initiative to give her a hug. Old Li ever seen this kind of battle? He only felt that the woman's body was as warm as jade, and her psychological defense line slipped a little, so she never wanted to let go. Ow! Needle stuck. Li Yunlong rushed forward impatiently. The tragedy happened, but he accidentally stepped on the needle, which separated the two. This time, he was a little clearer and sat back for a long distance. "Comrade Shokin, I really can't promise you. You know, I can't help myself in the war now." He reorganized the language and found a reason to convince himself that starting a family and starting a business was something he dared not expect. Now is an extraordinary period. Soldiers should be wrapped in horse leather. How can they blindly enjoy happiness? Okay, if you can't be your own master, then I'll find someone who can be your master. Shokin's eyes were full of Yuhi. A virgin, she took the initiative to send herself to the door in the middle of the night. What kind of determination did she make? Ordinary people will hate each other after being rejected, and even do irrational things, such as losing confidence in love and finding someone to marry. But she is not an ordinary person after all, and she will not admit defeat so easily. Shokin. After the woman left, Li Yunlong sat alone on the Kong, feeling a little lost. He now has time to observe the situation in the chat group. He didn't expect to see it, and he couldn't sleep anymore. What he opened was the memory copy of The War on the Top, which completely subverted the three views. Can human beings be so strong? Just like the fairy in the legend. I'll be darling. Everyone in the group is immortal. One punch can shatter the sky. In such a comparison, Monk Wei is really useless. Does it mean that as long as I pull the trigger, there are only big guys left in the group? Wine is really not a good thing. I actually scolded the group owner. I have to find a way to have a good relationship with the group members. If I climbed on the group leader's thigh, hee hee. That stupid boy Chu Yunfei. I can't even beat the horse. He finally knew what he had missed. The group owner Bai Su seemed to remind himself that he had been talking about marriage and other things, and that he would encounter a disaster recently. This is no joke. He learned that Bai Su's strength is unimaginable. This kind of character may really deduce the future. If he can change his destiny, he may be able to reduce the harm caused by this doom to minimal. Time passed by minute, but he didn't get to rest early. He kept diving in the dimensional chat group, observing what everyone was saying, until the sky gradually became brighter, and he fell asleep in a daze. He had just returned from the chaos in Ping'an County. No matter how much energy he had, he couldn't hold on to such tossing, and he didn't get up until 3 poles in the sun. However, what he didn't expect was that he was greedy last night, and the retribution came so soon. Li Yunlong, come out for me. ... As it approached noon, a sonorous voice sounded in the yard, waking up old Li's sweet dream. Who's giggling over there? Ah, Zhao Dazi committee. What wind brought you here? Seeing that Zhao Gang's face was as black as the bottom of a pot, Li Yunlong groaned and felt a little panic for no reason. Not so soon. No time for my old Li to react at all. Good, you daring Li Yunlong. You said, what did you do to the girl Shokin? Zhao Gang was born in Yanjing University, and later went to Yunnan Anti-Japanese University to study. To say that this Shokin is also a woman with scheming, she directly made trouble to Zhao Gang, and she blew up this intellectual in a few words. Li Yunlong plays with other girls and wants to be irresponsible. It's worth it to destroy the relationship between the people and the masses. Why are you yelling so loudly? I didn't do anything. Li Yunlong glanced out the window, looking like a thief with a guilty conscience. He is a person with a good face. If the soldiers in the regiment heard this, or even passed it on to the ears of the villagers in Zhaojiayu, then he really did not dare to go. Street. Nothing, that's not right. Shokin has come to complain to me, are you hugging them? Just give it a hug. I really didn't do anything else. Everyone has you hugged, what else do you want to do? ... For the first time, Li Yunlong showed an expression of help in front of Zhao Gang. Zhao Gang. Our friendship. This time you have to help me. What do you say next? It's easy to say, get married. A manly man, Li Yunlong, if you don't even have this responsibility, I really despise you. Zhao Gang is unselfish now, and he can't rub the sand in his eyes, and he looks like he is doing business. No way. It's absolutely impossible to get married, because that would hurt other girls. Well, I respect your opinion. I will report this matter to the headquarters as it is. Any consequences will be borne by you, Li Yunlong. Don't. Dude, our Independence Corps has just gotten better. Do you have the heart to throw away all these efforts? Old Li jumped off the Kong in a hurry. He was demoted last time and was thrown directly to the garment factory to be the factory manager. Old Li, I don't know you yet. Your face is serious, but your heart might be scratching like a cat's claws. If you talk about you, aren't you a broken regiment leader? Who doesn't know that you are a muddy girl, and the lady Shokin is so elegant? Zheng Mao, what's not worthy of you is a rude man. Don't say anything, I'm going to inform the kitchen now. I will use all the cans I have seized, and get married today. Zhao Gang directly gave an ultimatum, and the matter was simply settled. Li Yunlong was about to say something, but Zhao Gang glared at him and shocked him to the ground. I have the final say in life. To be honest, since the two have worked together for so long, this is the first time that Zhao Gang has been so majestic in front of Li Yunlong. However, Zhao Gang is really thinking about Li Yunlong. They are brothers who were born and die. What an excellent woman Shokan is. It is a blessing for Li Yunlong to marry someone. What's the situation? Inexplicably. Do you have a daughter-in-law? Li Yunlong knew that blocking was useless, so he let Zhao Gang go. In fact, what Zhao Gang said was useless and wrong, it was all his true thoughts. He's a rude little girl who despises others like flowers and jade. If you don't mind, it's pure fart. The main reason is that old Li can't save his face, and once he reaches the real threshold, he can't let go. Oops, the group owner's prophecy has been fulfilled. One is that I will marry a wife, and the other is that there will be a disaster. What's the matter with my right eyelid twitching? In the Hokage world, Baisu finally left the gentle village of Queen Medusa and returned to her main world. The Dochi continent is also a very interesting world, but Queen Medusa has just ascended the throne, and there are too many things to deal with. After the two discussed it, they separated for a short time. Anyway, Baisu now has enough points, and can buy a world breaker at any time. Huh, Master Baisu, you're finally back. Your wife has been here many times. But you haven't been found. Shizune heard the sound and looked up from the mountain of documents, just in time to see Baisu. Her eyes are a bit weird. Does this man know how the newspapers in the whole world evaluate him after he left for the past few days? Since the third generation of Hokage did not directly control public opinion and let it ferment, now the headlines of major countries have replaced the photos of Baisu and Tsunade, and all kinds of false news are too hyped. Finally, Uchiha Makoto also heard these rumors. Although the woman did not do anything irrational, she came to Hokage's office almost every day. She looked at Tsunade with a slightly hostile gaze, as if she was suspicious of Tsunade taking her manhood. You bastard, where did you go? You don't even ask for so many jobs. As the fourth generation of Hokage, is your duty to travel around. At this moment, Tsunade jumped over from behind the desk, grabbed Baisu's collar, and pulled it in front of him. This woman really gave birth to a daughter by mistake. She didn't seem to think that this posture would expose herself. Baisu just lowered her head and could see a pair of great evil. Chapter 106 Itachi Sharingan. Be honest with me, no big or small. Is there anything new these days? You can tell me if you have any. Baisu thumped Tsunade's head violently. His concentration has been a bit poor these days, but he is still pulling him so close. Isn't he afraid of making mistakes? Dare to hit me, my mother is fighting with you. Tsunade was like a dynamite barrel, it exploded at one point. She hugged Baisu's neck and landed with the momentum of the top of Mount High. The two fell to the floor together, and the entire Hokage office building was shocked. Smelly woman, are you crazy? Don't force me to do it. Try it. You have ruined my reputation anyway, let's die together. What nonsense are you talking about? Let go quickly. Where did you put your hand? Don't look down. There are more than a few of them in the Hokage office building. This is the core of Konoha. There are hundreds of positions, large and small, and everyone is talking about it after hearing the sound from upstairs. Oh my god, this is too exciting. We haven't got off work yet. Are we going to pretend we can't hear you? Sir Baisu can play. Princess Tsunade used to travel around the world, but she didn't expect to be submissive and obedient by Lord Baisu, and be a little secretary in Konoha with peace of mind. I guess Master Baisu's skills must be very strong, otherwise how could Princess Tsunade be in the public? They guessed that the 4 generations of Hokage and Princess Tsunade made the move, but they didn't expect the two to start in broad daylight. After several minutes of entanglement, calm was finally restored in Hokage's office. Tsunade according to the agreement, and paid a part of the cost in advance, which is probably worth the reward of an S-rank task. I hope this girl can lose a little slower. Otherwise, he would not be able to repay Konoha's property if he mortgaged it. Really, As soon as I returned to Konoha, I started fighting. Logically speaking, the treatment for you is not bad. I have never been so polite to the 3 generations of Hokage. Walking out of the office building, he bought 2 boxes of 3 color balls for Itachi on the way. He was lucky today, and it was time for school. Unexpectedly, there were still 2 boxes left in the store. He remembered that Itachi often went there for practice. It's late, and you can't get your beloved snack. Master Baisu. Go and report, Master Baisu is back. When he returned to the residence of the Uchiha clan, several ninjas of the Uchiha clan saw him stunned for a few seconds, and quickly reacted. What's going on? I'm so panicked. I've only been away for a few days. Who do you want to report to? Baisu frowned. Didn't he disappear outside? As a ninja, isn't it normal to go out on a mission for a few days? Sir Baisu, please don't get me wrong, this is an order from Makoto. After seeing you, I will inform her as soon as possible. We are just executing the order. The remaining ninjas stood at attention and explained carefully. In fact, they also know about the deeds of Baisu and Tsunade. At present, most people in the clan do not agree with the relationship between the two. After all, Tsunade is from the Senju clan, and the 2 ninja clan have not dealt with them since the Sengoku era. There is even a rumor that Tsunade used a beauty trick to steal the power of the Uchiha clan and ensure that the next Hokage's position will not fall into Uchiha's hands. Makoto, is there anything with me? Baisu shrank his neck subconsciously. This is a normal reaction to doing something wrong, but he thought about it carefully. He is not in the Hokage world at all these days. It is impossible to catch himself across the dimensional barrier, right? Don't worry, nothing will go wrong. So, we don't know very well. Anyway, Lord, go back as soon as possible. It's not a good thing to keep Makoto-sama worried. Several ninjas shook their heads at the same time. They are the security guards responsible for Konoha's security. Since Baisu came to power, their status has risen. Due to Baisu's stricter requirements, their evaluation has gotten better and better. Okay, you continue to patrol. Be careful not to let any feng shui grass move. Yes. Baisu said goodbye to his subordinates. As soon as he walked into the yard, Uchiha Makoto rushed up, and a line of clear tears flowed down his perfect cheeks. He was completely stunned, and he left for a few days. Cry. Madam, don't cry, just tell me if you have anything, and I will definitely make it up to you. Ms. Kun, Itachi, his eyes. Baisu was led by Uchiha Makoto to Itachi's room, and found that the child was quiet, and more prepared to say that he lacked a sense of anger. What's wrong, Itachi? I brought you your favorite 3 color balls. There are 2 boxes. You can eat this for dinner. Your mother won't interfere with you. He handed the 3 color ball to Itachi, but at this moment, Itachi's eyes suddenly turned bloody Yuhi, and 3 rotating tomo appeared in his eyes, which contained some mysterious power. Blood Wheel Eye. When is this? Baisu finally realized something was wrong. The Blood Wheel Eye is the bloodstain boundary of the Uchiha family, but it will only be triggered when emotions are stimulated. He thought that he had changed the fate of Itachi. This child will grow up freely and healthily in the future, even if his strength almost doesn't matter. But I didn't expect that what should come is still here. Blood Wheel Eye is a double-edged sword, which may hurt myself. Uchiha people who have gained power often fall into a wrong self-understanding, and often impose the world's shortcomings on themselves. For example, in the original plot, Uchiha Itachi was in great pain because of his identity as a double spy. After being brainwashed by Hokage, he finally went to a dead end and killed his own 2, only in exchange for 2 Jinchuriki column sons temporarily. Security. Father, what is the meaning of life? I've been thinking about it for a long time, but I still don't understand. Uchiha Itachi asked pitifully that he had just experienced a setback, which can be said to be a drastic change in his life. He used to envy those geniuses in the clan who started Sharingan, but he didn't know the price until he had it. If possible, he is willing to use the light of both eyes in exchange for going back in time, so that the tragedy will never happen again. The meaning of life. Don't think about this ethereal question, it will drain your time and energy, because life has no meaning. Baisu felt distressed for a while and pulled Itachi into his arms. He knew that Itachi had grown and paid a price. This kind of stimulation was too cruel for a 4-year-old child, so Itachi fell into some kind of death. Can't get out of the cycle. The kid said he saw a strange man with a Uzumaki-like mask on his mission. Uchiha Makoto whispered the story in Baisu's ears. Originally, Itachi Ninja School did not graduate and was not allowed to participate in the mission, but by chance, Itachi still got a place for an internship. However, during the mission, he was intercepted by a strange masked man. In that mission, only Itachi came back alive, and even the eyes of the blood wheel were opened. The reason why Uchiha Makoto is looking for Baisu everywhere these days is because of this matter. In fact, she has already heard the rumors about Baisu and Tsunade. Believe in your man. A strange masked man. He's really an anti-bone boy who hit his head on the Uchiha clan. A cold light flashed in Baisu's eyes. He was a little careless. There is no power in this world that can hurt him, but the strength of the people around him is not very strong. Once encountering a boss-level character, it is easy to fall into danger. Itachi, let's have dinner first. We'll consider other things later. If you like, we can eat 3 color balls every day. He touched Itachi's little head. The most important thing now is to help Itachi get out of the shadows. Don't go to extremes like the original plot. This blow consumes a lot of Itachi's psychological energy. When a person's psychological energy is consumed too much, it is easy to have problems. At this time, a reliable and warm relationship is needed to replenish psychological energy, such as family, friendship, love. It's not enough to just eat balls. Mom has made delicious dishes. Let's go eat together. Uchiha Makoto wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes. As long as Baisu is here, the family will have the backbone, and no matter how difficult it is, it will be over. She sees her son's distressed appearance, but she is unable to enlighten each other alone. Uchiha Itachi finally nodded. The blood in his eyes gradually disappeared. He felt that there was a sun-like warmth in Baisu's body. As long as he hugged each other's big hand, he could dispel the haze in his heart. He nodded, and the family of 3 made it to the same table again, having a sumptuous dinner as usual. An hour later, Itachi fell into a deep sleep. He hadn't slept well in the past few days. He often woke up in his dreams, so that he was afraid of the coming of night. But now it's different. Baisu has gone home. Husband Lord Kun, kid. Will he be okay? Uchiha Makoto still has a trace of sadness on her face. She also has Sharingan. Those who have experienced it know how painful the process is. I just hope that the child can survive. It's alright, Sharingan is the blood-stained boundary of the Uchiha family. The talent to be able to open a representative at the age of 4 is extremely high. After he walks out slowly, his mood will greatly increase. Baisu shook his head. In fact, with his power, he could use his powerful soul power to dispel the haze in Itachi's heart, or seal up the painful memory, leaving only the instinctive memory that opened up Sharingan, but this would be a bit of a nuisance. This is how life should be, and the experience is always experienced. Chapter 107 Kamui can't hide her tears. The last time I went out on a mission, I bought 2 gems with my reward, 1 for each of you and Itachi. It is said that this gem has been blessed by the gods. Remember to keep it close to your body. From Kabuto, this deep-sea-like gem was transformed by the mana of a saint. With his current strength, it was a bit troublesome to make. At present, only 3 were made, and 1 was given to Mei, Queen Tasad, and the other 2 brought back to the world of Hokage. So beautiful, thank you. Uchiha Makoto's life has always been simple, natural carvings, and hibiscus in clear water, but she was still moved when she saw these 2 gems. The moment she put it on her neck, she felt a warm force surrounding her, as if she was in the arms of her husband. Madam, rest early. I still have some business in Anbu, I have to go out for a walk. Baisu touched Makoto's smooth hair and said tenderly. Yes, Lord Fu-kun. Uchiha Makoto nodded obediently. She is a woman who is easy to satisfy. Her husband is already Konoha's Hokage, a man standing on top of the world. She just wants Itachi to grow up healthy and happy. ... Baisu was busy going on adventures in various worlds some time ago, ignoring that the strength of his family is not strong. Even in the world of Hokage, there will still be danger. He left behind this time. Even if Otsutsuki Kagaya is resurrected, he will not be able to withstand a blow from the saint. Is this kid Obito still wandering around in Konoha? Dare to come and threaten my eldest son? Did Liang Jingru give you the courage? He took one step, and a person appeared in another direction of Konoha village. This is a suburb, far away from the hustle and bustle of the downtown. It seems to be much quieter. In his perception, there is a familiar atmosphere lurking here, thinking that there is no such thing. Anyone can notice themselves. Baisu, what are you doing here? Wait for me. At this moment, a surprised voice sounded, and the curtain was pulled open by a pair of jade hands, revealing a gentle face. It's such a coincidence in the world that he didn't expect a teleportation technique to come to Uzumaki Kushina's downstairs. Long for Kushina to open the door. Now the weather is getting colder. She is wearing a warm windbreaker, and her long chestnut hair flutters in the wind. Long time no see, Mrs. Minato. Baisu looked very natural. He didn't make a special trip to find this woman, but after seeing her, he suddenly understood why Uchiha Obito was wandering in this generation. He must be paying attention to Kyuubi, Nine Tails. Long time no see, I don't know why, I feel at ease every time I see you. I can't sense your breath now, your strength seems to have grown a lot. Uzumaki Kushina's face is slightly yuhi. Although this is a suburb, there are other people living here. Baisu's recent reputation is not very good. It is rumored that he has an extraordinary relationship with Princess Tsunade. If people see the two standing together, I am afraid there will be some gossip. What she didn't know was that this scene had already fallen into a pair of blood-colored eyes. Even on a cold day, there was a man in the outside world who fell into hatred and couldn't extricate himself, staring at her residence all the time. This is also the cause of insomnia for a long time. How can the fourth generation of Hokage appear here? I understand, this generation of Hokage is really a hungry ghost. Even the teacher's wife refuses to let go. Poor teacher Minato is so focused on cultivating, even his wife was kidnapped and run away. I don't know, what a pity. How long has this incident lasted? It seems that I am the only one in the whole of Konoha who knows this secret. Maybe tomorrow I can find one of the biggest newspapers to publish this news, and it will definitely have an impact on Konoha. Uchiha Obito originally came to follow Konoha, but unexpectedly discovered a huge secret. The fourth generation of Hokage actually seduced the hair-bearing wife of Konoha genius ninja Namikaze Minato. What's more ruthless is that Uzumaki Kushina is still waiting to give birth. He also learned about the affair between Baisu and Tsunade from the newspaper a few days ago. Now it seems that they are inseparable. He has already made a draft in his belly. Now Akatsuki has nothing else. The money is, it is no matter how much money you spend hiring a navy. Of course he would not have thought that Baisu would listen to his self-talk without a word, and talking bad about people behind his back would not end well. Have you had nightmares again? In fact, I'm here to help you. I can solve your worries, and you won't have to have nightmares in the future. Your destiny, I will change it. A wicked smile crossed the corner of Baisu's mouth. He was simply laughed at by Obito. That kid actually wanted to spend money to hype up his own lace news, but in the eyes of others, it was more evil and charming. Really, what do you want in return? You see, my body is very inconvenient. Uzumaki Kushina raised her head excitedly, but was a little afraid of making eye contact with Baisu. She tried her best to keep herself and her husband safe, and at the same time she wanted to keep her innocence. Her intuition told her that Baisu had just assumed the position of Hokage and was inexplicably familiar with Princess Tsunade within a few days. He was a very dangerous person, and once he got into it, his reputation would be ruined. Remuneration. Just use the Kyubi, 9 tails, in your body to pay, and I will discuss it with you if you are interested. Next, I'll show you a lonely soul wandering in Konoha, who is also your husband's student. He got the news from nowhere that the human Jinchuriki column force's ceiling force on the tailed beast will be reduced to the lowest level when giving birth. Has been waiting for the most suitable opportunity to launch. Quote. Baisu turned around and said to the forest next to him. With his strength, the entire Konoha is within his perception range. Uchiha Obito's ability is indeed against the sky, but in his eyes, it is too childish. Don't say it's inappropriate. Did you mean, but isn't that already? Uzumaki Kushina is a very smart woman. She thought of the name of the mastermind in an instant, but this result is too outrageous. Under the leadership of the third-generation Hokage, the whole village of ninjas organized a funeral for Uchiha Obito. How could it be possible for a person to die? What about resurrection? Crap. Uchiha Obito thought he was hiding well, but he didn't expect to reveal his whereabouts. He was extremely confident in his own strength, but now is not the time to fight recklessly with the fourth generation of Hokage, it is better to leave temporarily. Kamui. This is his Mangekyo Sharingan's unique technique. It belongs to time-space ninjutsu. It can transport itself and any object to a unique different space. It takes a long time to absorb itself, but by absorbing and releasing oneself, it can achieve rapid movement. Purpose. He can also incarnate himself, that is, at the moment of being attacked, transfer the attacked part to a different space, which can be used to avoid attacks and pass through barriers. The disadvantage is a certain time limit, single eye state, no interval. The attack can be cracked in 5 minutes. Have I told you to go away? Uchiha's face has been thrown away by you. When you go back to your own village, you hide like a mouse. What else can you achieve in your life? For the world, an invisible force directly immobilized Uchiha Obito. The foolproof time and space ninjutsu actually failed. Obito desperately wanted to move his body, but it was difficult to move. The short distance is like separated by a silver river. This is. Uzumaki Kushina once again intuitively felt Baisu's strength. Although it was just a breath, it was enough to make countless ninjas discolored. At first, the Kyubi 9 tails in her body was biting violently at the cage that sealed it. After this dangerous breath, all 4 limbs lay on the ground, the body shrank hundreds of times, and the body shivered. As a tailed beast, its perception of danger is much more sensitive than that of humans. Baisu's power is not just as simple as it appears. I am afraid it is enough to completely destroy himself. Strange mask. Man with Mangekyo Sharingan. That's how Itachi described you to me. You're really amazing. It's the first time I've been so angry in such a long time. Baisu walked in front of Uchiha Obito like a stroll, took off the Uzumaki-shaped mask that the other party was wearing, revealing a face that was pale because of fear. It's really you, Obito. Uzumaki Kushina followed from a distance, and when he saw this scene, he couldn't help exclaiming, Minato's disciple was still alive. But he became a ghost, and he was planning to murder myself. Who are you? Is this the power of Sharingan? Uchiha Obito spoke with difficulty. He really couldn't understand. Even if Baisu had Mangekyo Sharingan, he shouldn't be able to pervert to such a level that he was sealed with one look. This is not demonic illusion. He felt that the flow of time around him seemed to be slowing down. Go to the hell and the ghosts to find the answer. Originally, a pawn like you was not worthy of my shot, but you took the initiative to send it to the door. Tsukuyomi. Was a flash of blood in Baisu's eyes, and a powerful mental wave directly tore Obito's defense and brought the opponent's soul to a strange world. This is an execution ground, and countless cruel punishments greeted Obito over and over again. Right, no matter how powerful the ninja is, it won't last long before it collapses completely. Ah! Obito was screaming wildly in the execution ground, but in reality he was sealed off because of demonic illusion, and he couldn't make any sound. 1 minute from the outside world, he would spend a long time here, and the pain made his spirits it's down to a critical point, and it's about to collapse. But at this time, he remembered a gentle face, that girl named Yuan Yi Rin, who was the deepest light in his heart, gave him infinite power, and could actually resist the invasion of Tsukuyomi. This kind of pain is not even 1 in a millionth of losing Rin. Chapter 108 I am a braised chicken. People's beliefs are boundless. Uchiha Obito is definitely a genius. There are not a few people who have opened Mangekyo Sharingan in history, but one hand who can play to this extent can count. It was like putting together the torn self again. No one knew how much pain Obito had endured. He survived just like that. The boundaries of the blood stains changed significantly. The bloody eyes disappeared, replaced by a sublime purple. Tomo turned into a circle of ripples. Rinnegan, how did this kid wake up to this bloody boundary? Is it because of Mokuden wood-style cells? Baisu frowned slightly. Rinnegan is the power inherited from the 6 paths immortals. According to reason, the Uchiha family only inherited half of the power of the 6 paths immortals, so they cannot activate the Rinnegan. But when Uchiha Madara stole Senju Hashirama's cells after suspended animation, the combination of the 2 extreme forces is infinitely close to 6 paths. Pay the price for your stupidity. 4th generation Hokage. Psychic Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path. Uchiha Obito realized the power of a fairy, and activated Rinnegan to summon a huge golem, many times bigger than a tailed beast. Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path, is the body of the 10 tails. It was originally sealed into the moon by the 6 paths immortals. I don't know how many years have passed, and it has reappeared in the world. Rin, wait for me, I'm going to create a world with you. He targeted Uzumaki Kushina. As long as the 9-tailed beast was sealed into the body of 10 tails, he would be able to revive the divine tree. At that time, he would be able to activate infinite Tsukuyomi and make the whole world fall into a deep sleep and sleep. Create a world with Rin. Obito, don't be stubborn, we are responsible for Rin's death, but don't use this hatred to hurt innocent people. Uzumaki Kushina spoke out to discourage him, but in the end, Uchiha Obito has been enchanted, and what he wants to do most now is to kill his wife and take Kyubi, 9 tails, as his own. Haha, it's good to have a dream, but unfortunately it's not your turn to make the rules of this world. Space. Burst. Baisu held his right hand empty, and the space around 10 tails began to shrink gradually. Even Uchiha Obito was locked in the cage. He was worried that it was too close to the center of Konoha, and controlled his own power. Destroy only this forest. This is. Uchiha Obito found that the space he was in seemed to be disconnected from the outside world. 10 tails, arm slammed on the edge of the space, and a huge arm disappeared like this. He couldn't even activate Kamui, because the laws in this space were formulated by Baisu alone. Rinnegan is indeed strong, but he still has to obey the laws. As long as there is enough time, the bodies of him and 10 tails are destined to become a pile of fragments. No. Items smashed by space cutting can't be described as fragments, it should be said that they completely disappeared from this world. No, Baisu, please let him go. If you kill him, Minato will go crazy. He just can't think of it for a while, give him another chance. At this time, no one could have imagined that Uzumaki Kushina suddenly rushed up, hugged by Susnek and pleaded. I see you are crazy, let me go. Baisu used the power of space just now, and he could raise Konoha to the ground if he was not careful. In order not to hurt Uzumaki Kushina, he could only give up the attack completely, but Obito also seized the gap and escaped directly. Today's Obito like a bird frightened, fleeing in the direction of the rain country. What are you doing? Baisu was very angry. The more beautiful a woman is, the easier it is to do bad things. Then Obito wanted Uzumaki Kushina's life all his mind, but this stupid woman beat her up at a critical moment, risking her life to save Obito. Sorry, I can't leave my husband with lifelong regrets. He is a ninja who pursues perfection. Give him a chance to bring his disciples back to the right path. Uzumaki Kushina also felt that he had consumed too much energy, and his body shook for a while, as if he was about to fall to the ground. Namikaze Minato, you asked him to persuade Uchiha Obito. Do you think he has a long life? You may not know how far his bloodstain limit has evolved. Looking at the entire history of Konoha, it can be ranked among the top 3. Baisu shook his head. This woman is simply unreasonable. He is too lazy to continue talking nonsense, and when he has time, he will uproot the country of rain, otherwise the world will not be peaceful with Uchiha Obito. On the way back, he opened the group chat with a curious attitude, and found that the group members were fighting hotly. There were only a dozen people in the group, and soon it was 99 plus. With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with gods, ha ha ha. It's too funny, can you perform the show just now? Jianfeng pointed at was invincible. I am a fish with pickled vegetables, sour, vegetables in excess. With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with gods, ha ha ha. Omega, hiya, you have changed your dishes again. Do you know, I'm laughing a little too high. You are really talented in acting. Are you come to Hollywood? I promise to make you a star. Pointed at was invincible. Our old Lee is really not bragging. Back then, the opera troupe in the capital named us by name and wanted to make us a big name, but we were not determined to do so. Do it. Uncle Ying, it's a good thing to have ambition. What's the use of singing a big opera no matter how good it is? Ding, Baisu is online. Baisu, it's lively tonight. With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with gods, worship the big guy. JPG. Uncle Ying, worship the big guy. JPG. And Izumi Sagiri, worship the big guy. JPG. Chase 10 school beauties this year, worship the big brother. JPG. Jianfeng pointed at was invincible. Oh my god. The wise and suave group owner is now online. Shocked. Marvel World. After Tony saw the following passage, he suddenly felt a sense of crisis, and now he only had one thought in his mind. I'm careless, how can this guy be more expensive than me? Baisu. Isn't this the head of the independent regiment, Mr. Li Yunlong Li? It's a pleasure to meet you. There was a smile on the corner of Baisu's mouth. Old Li seemed to be enlightened, and made the big guys in the group very happy. When Li Yunlong first joined the group, he happened to be drunk, and he took advantage of the wine to fight the sky and the air, and he didn't even pay attention to the group owner. Jianfeng pointed at was invincible. Master Group Leader, our old Li has done something wrong, so I'll make an apology for you here. Wine, it's really not a good thing. Lord of the group, if you are angry in your heart, please punish at will. That is, if you want us to scrap your arm, we will chop it off without saying a word. Baisu, it's not a trivial matter, it won't be on the line. The owner of this group is not a person without courage, as long as you sincerely regret it. Uncle Ying, it's too bloody to lose your arm at any time. Our group leader is a person who is out of vulgar taste. Don't be like the king of the mountain. And Izumi Sagiri, if you don't have the ability to be reborn from a broken limb, you should not perform this kind of project. You are immortal, right? Jianfeng pointed at was invincible. Worship the big guy. JPG, thank you, the group owner, for giving me the opportunity to be a new person. Operator hollow down pointing triangle. Operator silently picked up Bing Kuoluo on the table, thinking that this Li Yunlong is not simple. This is a master. Zhao Jiayu. Old Li, look, it's getting late. Or we. Shokin got married today and became Zhao Jiayu's most beautiful bride. When she said this, her face was stained with yuhi dizziness, and she lowered her head shyly. She is a beautiful person, and she serves as the women's director in the village. The conditions are very good. Even in the county town, there are matchmakers who come to ask for a kiss, but she rejects them one by one. She is not a weak woman. She killed 2 devils with a gun for the first time. She has no interest in those people and wants to find a capable man. Independent Regiment. Li Yunlong was disciplined and disciplined. Alone and ambitious, he made a big noise in the Juxianlu, and sent all the devils to the west at the birthday party of the gendarmerie captain Harada Ichiro. In her eyes, Li Yunlong is the man with ability. That's why she could say that sentence, "I will give birth to a son for you. If you die, I will raise my son and continue to fight devils." Li Yunlong. There were rumors just now that the head of the regiment would lose his bones after marrying his wife, and he would not dare to fight devils in the future. At this juncture, we can't afford to lose this person. Tonight, I will set an example for the whole group. Shokin, go to bed earlier. He put on his coat, exhorted him, and walked out without looking back. Hey, old Li. Shokin hurriedly raised her head, only to see Li Yunlong's back disappearing in a flash, with a look of loss on her face. When I meet my old friends in a foreign country, when there is rain for a long time, the bridal chamber is full of candles, and when the golden list is inscribed. Li Yunlong was born with mud legs and is illiterate. Maybe he doesn't know what the 4 happy events in life are, but his wife and children should know about the hot Kong head, right? The human heart is full of flesh, and Shokin knows his friendship well in his heart. At such an important moment, he resolutely turned and left because the burden on his shoulders was too heavy. Jian Feng pointed at was invincible. By the way, I got married today, and the world I live in is deficient in materials, a little gift, and I hope you don't mind. Ding! What Jianfeng pointed out, Suoxiang Invincible sent a Yuhi bag, please pay attention to check it. Received Yuhi bag with Izumi Sagiri. Uncle Ying received the Yuhi bag. With the body of a mortal, I received the Yuhi bag as a god. Bai Su received the Yuhi bag. Ellipsis. The only thing Li Yunlong could take out was the canned food seized from the devil. He brought back a large bag from the warehouse today. Uncle Ying. It turned out to be a happy day for the head of the regiment. This small golden lock contains a magic circle, which can not only avoid disasters, but also has the opportunity to improve people's fate if worn for a long time. I wish Captain Li an early birth of a precious son. Chapter 109 Wedding Live. And Izumi Sagiri. I didn't expect Li Yunlong to get married so soon, it's really honest. I wish you happiness. I happen to have an ice cream cake here, I'll give it to you as a blessing. By the way, I will teach you a trick. You can broadcast a live broadcast of your wedding, so that the big guys in the group are also happy. Yuhi Bao Duo. This girl took out a complete cake from the refrigerator and sent it to Li Yunlong using the Yuhi bag function. Although she is a Yuhi cartoonist, she has to save her life. This kind of Haagen-Dazs ice cream cake costs a lot of money. Philip. Jian Feng pointed out was invincible, live broadcast. This can be done. Our old Li is also married for the first time, so it's a shame. As soon as Li Yunlong's eyes rolled, he immediately thought it was a good idea. As a newcomer, it was really inappropriate for him to ask for a Yuhi bag when he first came to the group chat. However, the days of the independent group were too sad, and the villagers of Zhao Jiayu were also there. Suffering, if you can have the help of the big guys, there will be a big change. Ding! What Jian Feng pointed out, Invincible started the live broadcast. Life is full of joy, the big guys in the group come in. Entering the live room with Izumi Sagiri. The owner of Butterfly House enters the live room. This year, chasing 10 school flowers into the live room. The world's strongest man enters the live room. Bai Su enters the live room. ... When the lively wedding was going on, there was a festive atmosphere everywhere. A group of children in tattered clothes circled around girl Shokin and sang a nursery rhyme. Flower Magpie, long tail, married a daughter-in-law and forgotten her mother. Carry her mother into the ravine, and hold her daughter-in-law on the head of the Kong. Roll the pancake, roll the snow candy, you should try it first. I went to the ravine to see our mother. Flower Magpie, long tail, married a daughter-in-law and forgotten her mother. Carry her mother into the ravine, and hold her daughter-in-law on the head of the Kong. Roll the pancake, roll the snow candy, you should try it first. I went to the ravine to see our mother. ... Shokin embarrassed Yuhi, but her eyes were full of happy smiles. It was her dream to marry the person she liked, and now her dream will soon come true. The strongest man in the world. Is this the wedding of Li Yunlong world? It's similar to my hometown. Although I am not married, I have a family and I have never regretted it in my life. With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with the gods, is this the one with Yuhi flower brother Yunlong? He looks so mature and married such a petite wife. This person is more romantic than me. Brother Bai, what's wrong with Li Yunlong? He is living a happy life now, and he doesn't look like he is in any danger. Jie Shaolun suddenly remembered that Li Yunlong had asked this question just now, but Bai Su never gave an answer. In his impression, Bai Su's predictions were very accurate, and many bigwigs avoided catastrophe because of this. Butterfly house owner. Why does the group owner keep silent? Is there any inconvenience? The group members waited for a minute, but still did not receive any news. Butterfly Ninja asked again. Bai Su, originally, I wanted to wait until Li Yunlong finished worshipping, but it's a bit out of place now. It's close anyway. Master Group Leader, you can safely say that our old Li is from a hardship, and no matter what happens, he can bear it. Li Yunlong's eyes sank, and a murderous aura suddenly emerged. He is a soldier, and his temperament is impeccable. He has fought for so many years and has killed countless enemies. If someone comes to take revenge, it would be very normal thing. In fact, he had already instructed the security team to strengthen their vigilance this morning. How could marriage matters be a joke? It is a pity that the strength of the independent regiment has been dispersed, and only about 80 people gathered in Zhaojiayu. However, Zhaojiayu's terrain is difficult to defend and difficult to attack. He believes that under his own command, with 80 troops, he can block the attack of a regiment until the arrival of reinforcements. Yamato Kazuki, a Japanese special operations expert, has more than 80 agents under his command, all of whom graduated from the Munich Special Forces School in Germany and have received strict military training. His individual combat quality and teamwork fighting skills are impeccable. The team will meet tonight. Attacked Zhaojiayu and carried out a beheading operation. As a result, the independent regiment suffered heavy losses. Only the commander succeeded in breaking through the siege, and hundreds of villagers in Zhaojiayu. None of them survived. Bai Su's voice was very calm, as if telling a piece of history, which is indeed history for others, but what is going on for Li Yunlong? Impossible. What a bastard combat expert. If someone really needs to rely on 80 troops to take down Zhaojiayu, I will cut off his head and use it as a chamber pot. Li Yunlong's eyes were wide open, and he didn't believe in such a thing at all. Although he was born with mud legs and didn't know a single big character, he was quite talented when it came to fighting. The terrain of Zhaojiayu was very easy to defend. There will be such a failure. Ding! Bai Su uploaded a copy of his memory, Bright Sword, Chapter of Zhaojiayu. What Jian Feng pointed to, all Shang Invincible accepted the copy. This year, Chasing 10 School Flowers accepted a copy. And Izumi Sagiri accepted the copy. The strongest man in the world accepted a copy. ... Zhaojiayu is a blood debt, deeply engraved in Li Yunlong's heart. He not only failed to protect the people here, even his newly married wife died. Li Yunlong was all-powerful on the battlefield, and he made a scene in the Juxian building in the county town, which made the Devil's Sealing, Yoshio Shinozuka, violent, and sent Yamamoto Kazuki and his special forces to appear, and they must annihilate the leader of the independent regiment. Yamamoto Kazuki has a very high military literacy and extraordinary courage, because the subject he studies and admires, special warfare, is really too unpopular, so he is indifferent to the Devil's military, and he has to rely on Shinozuka Yoshio's fence. Next, I am desperately seeking an opportunity to turn myself and my career over. He firmly believes that the seemingly insignificant special forces under his command will surely create brilliant results in future wars. After waiting for a long time, the time has come. After many days of hard work, he has penetrated Li Yunlong's troops, and now he leads the team to Zhaojiayu. Li Yunlong, you're shooting. I was born to be yours and died to be your ghost. Remember, I, Shokin, will marry you in my next life. The mournful female voice echoed over Ping'an County, and finally vanished in the artillery fire. Puff. Li Yunlong was still at the wedding banquet, his expression sluggish, and one fell to the ground inadvertently. Chapter 110 Send troops to Zhaojiayu. Ouch. Old Li, what's the matter with you? You can't be so excited. Our old Li has been a bachelor for half his life. He was so excited last night that he couldn't sleep, and now the bride's legs are soft when she sees it. Ha ha ha. Zhao Gang's joke made the soldiers of the independent regiment and the villagers of Zhaojiayu burst into laughter, and even Shokin couldn't help covering her mouth with her hands. So funny. Okay, thank you. With the support of everyone, Li Yunlong slowly stood up. When a man acts, it should be Taishan collapsed in front of him without changing his color, and Elk flourishing on the left without blinking his eyes, but he just saw his future and his wife's ending. As long as he is not a cold-blooded animal, he will not be indifferent. Look, I'll say thank you again. When have you ever seen old Li so refined? Zhao Gang's humorous hosting style is very useful to everyone. On weekdays, Li Yunlong is a very serious person. Who dares to joke about him? It's rare to catch up with the big wedding day. Let everyone have a good time. The wedding continues. This era is in turmoil. There are no good conditions, but it is very happy to get the blessings of hundreds of people. Li Yunlong is in a trance now, like a marionette, acting under everyone's arrangements, made a lot of jokes. Worship the heavens and the earth. To thanks to the high hall. ... The group members felt a little distressed when they saw this scene. Sometimes they knew that the future was not necessarily a good thing. If they didn't have the ability to change, it would definitely be a cruel thing. Example, Li Yunlong now knows that the Yamamoto special team is approaching Zhaojiayu, but he has no good way to stop the opponent. The opponent's equipment and personnel quality are 10 times better than the independent regiment's guard platoon. How to fight this battle? Even if he abandons this base now and takes hundreds of Zhaojiayu's villagers to move. What if the enemy catches up? At that time, the chaos will become a pot of porridge, and there is no natural danger to defend. I am afraid the consequences will be even more unimaginable. And Izumi Sagiri. Old Li is so pitiful, he must be thinking about his wife now. Sister Shokin is an excellent woman, it's a pity to lose her life like this. The strongest man in the world. It's not difficult to reverse this future, as long as a random member of the group goes there. Although the Yamamoto team is elite, they are all ordinary people. I can solve them all with one punch. Chase 10 school beauties this year. Old Li, you don't have to worry, it's all up to us, isn't it just a few devils? Get the canned food ready, the big deal is that I'll go there tonight and buy a shattering amulet. ... Reading Liangjan, Zhaojiayu, the bosses in the group made suggestions one after another. The combat power level of Li Yunlong's world is not high. Although the guns are powerful, the worlds of other bosses have superpowers, and the guns are still slightly inferior. Really, ladies and gentlemen, I, Li Yunlong, swear once again that if I can help me get through this difficult time, I'll let you know where we need old Li in the future. I'll go through fire and water, and I'll do whatever it takes. There was an instant light in Li Yunlong's eyes. His life was just getting better, and he was really unwilling to be destroyed, especially to let down a woman who was willing to follow her with her whole life. Chin's life. He didn't expect that the big guys in the group would have heavenly soldiers and gods. They are really similar to the legendary immortals. Entering the dimensional chat group is really a treasure. This year, chasing 10 school beauties. I still have 500 points, enough for one round trip. I will perform this task. The strongest man in the world, Jie Shaolun, you are the seedling that the group owners are optimistic about. Points have a great effect on you. Let me come. Butterfly house owner. It's really exciting. My points haven't been used up yet, and a team of secret agents can't hurt me at all. Bai Su, wait, since everyone is so enthusiastic, I won't say anything, it seems that it's not good. Ding, Bai Su released the task, send troops to Zhao Jiayu. Mission goal, help Li Yunlong achieve absolute victory, change the fate of Shokan and Zhao Jiayu villagers, and strive to achieve 0 casualties. Mission reward, 500 points. He directly posted a task in the group. He has the strongest ability to earn points. 500 points is only a drop in the bucket, and he doesn't care at all, but this wealth is very important to ordinary group members and can completely change a low combat world. Destiny. Ding, with the body of a mortal, he received the task alongside the gods. While everyone is still stunned, Tony Stark grabbed this quest effortlessly, and when he saw the notification of success, he breathed a long sigh of relief. And Izumi Sagiri, wow. Tony, you are so treacherous. You have to make multiple transactions with the group owner to earn 500 points. The strongest man in the world, Gulao Lala. As expected of the man I like, Tony, why don't you be my son? On the route of the new era, bear my name and take an adventure. This year, chasing 10 school beauties. As expected, it's business material. By the way, I opened the task interface just now, but I'm still a step behind. Tony, you've been single for at least 40 years. The big guys in the group were all a second slower, but Tony is the most suitable person for this task. As Marvel's largest arms dealer, the most important thing he does not lack is weapons, and many of them are ultra-modern weapons. The lethality is amazing, and the Yamamoto team is no different from the primitive man holding the stone spear in Tony's eyes. In the area of mortals, standing shoulder to shoulder with gods, ha ha ha. 500 points, you can get it, Li Yunlong, let you see what real equipment is. Tony threw the last piece of pizza into his mouth, clapped his hands, tapped the screen a few times, and brought out his arsenal. These are the equipment that makes the Mei army covet. The high-level officials tried hard to do business with him, but they were turned away by him on the grounds that he loved peace. Ding! In the area of mortals, the gods rewarded 500 AK-47 automatic rifles. AK-47 automatic rifle. Reliable loading action, good serviceability, solid and durable, low failure rate, excellent shooting performance whether in high temperature or low temperature conditions. Especially can be used in sand and mud water, reliable performance, simple structure, easy to decompose. But the downside is that the muzzle rises seriously when it fires continuously, which affects the accuracy to a great extent, and the weight is relatively large. Tony Stark is a big deal when he makes a shot. You must know that the equipment in the hands of the brothers in the independent regiment is stolen from the enemy, and many of them are used by scumbags and the like. Where have you seen any standard equipment? Chapter 111 Railgun. Ding! With the body of a mortal, the gods will reward 500 new body armors. New body armor. Also known as bulletproof vest, bulletproof vest, bulletproof vest, bulletproof clothing, individual body protection equipment. It is used to protect the human body from damage by warheads or shrapnel. It is mainly composed of a coat cover and a bulletproof layer. The coat cover is usually made of chemical fiber fabrics. The bulletproof layer is made of titanium alloy, corundum, and ultra-high molecular weight polyethylene fibers to form a composite protective structure. The bulletproof layer can absorb the kinetic energy of the warhead or shrapnel, and has a significant protective effect on low-speed warheads or shrapnel, and can reduce the damage to the human chest and abdomen under the control of a certain depression. Ding! With the body of a mortal, he will reward a railgun with the gods. Railgun. A weapon that uses electromagnetic force to launch cannonballs along a guide rail. The ampere force generated by the electromagnetic field in the electromagnetic system accelerates the metal cannonball to achieve the kinetic energy required to hit the target. Unlike traditional gunpowder-driven cannons, railgun can greatly improve the projectile's ability, speed and range. In just a few seconds, Tony Stark sent Li Yunlong the equipment that could be equipped with 3 reinforced companies. He was afraid that the soldiers of the independent regiment would suffer casualties, so he added a railgun, Agent Yamamoto. Although the squad is strong, there is no problem that a single railgun can't solve. If so, then two. Thank you, Tony. Many thanks to the group leader. You are my savior, so I won't say more about it, I will keep it in my heart. Li Yunlong was happier when he saw the standard weapons and equipment than when he saw a beautiful woman. 3 big Yuhi bags have been sent, and as long as his thoughts move, they can be directly manifested in the real world. Originally, he felt that the gap between the guard platoon of the independent regiment and the Yamamoto squad was too great, and he had no chance of winning, but now it is completely different. The big guys in the group have even sent cannons. Now he is confident as long as he has enough troops. A team that ate the devils alone. With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with gods. You, re-welcome, these are all instigated by the group owner. To be honest, although these equipments are valuable, they are definitely not worth 500 points. I also got the light of the group owner. Tony's words are right, last time he sold a mecha with great difficulty, and only after a broken bone did the girl agree. A mecha was only sold for 50 points, this time the most valuable reward he gave was the railgun, everything else is a gift. Zhao Jiayu. Sent into the bridal chamber. Zhao Geng's voice was cadenced, and many people's eyes were already showing gloating expressions. They arranged for a few soldiers to carry Li Yunlong to the bridal chamber. Who would dare to make such a joke with old Li? Forget it. Today is our old Li's happy day, just a few words. Everyone eats and drinks well. Today I make a promise that brothers follow me to fight devils. I promise that in the future, every brother will be able to marry a daughter-in-law. Come on, do it. Li Yunlong drank all the water and wine in the bowl. This wine was brewed by the villagers of Zhao Jiayu. It is low in strength, but has great stamina. If you drink it this way, the soldiers will not be able to get up tonight. Zhao Gang, go ahead and instruct everyone. Everyone can't drink more than 3 bowls of wine. Drink and eat vegetables, and cabbage and pork are enough. He whispered a few words by Zhao Gang's side. At this time, the bad guy had to act out Zhao Gang. After all, he is the groom's official today, so he is not suitable for blackface. Old Li, it's rare for everyone to be so happy. I think it's okay to drink more. Who is not a pound of alcohol, but only a few glasses of turbid wine, are you worried too much? Zhao Gang blinked, he found that today's Li Yunlong has a lot of strange things. He usually complains that his discipline is too strict. How can he be a good baby today? Li Yunlong, old Zhao. Look, this is your fault, your ideological awareness is not high enough. Our team must always maintain the strongest fighting ability. I have been on the battlefield for so many years, and I have a keen intuition. Tonight we must take strict precautions. If there is an internal ghost, we can easily be wiped out. Quote. Don't worry, it's all up to me. All soldiers should not drink more than 2 bowls of alcohol, and pork and cabbage is enough. Zhao Gang pondered for a while, and suddenly realized that what old Li said made some sense. Be careful to sail the eternal ship, there is nothing wrong with being careful. The soldiers of the Independence Regiment and the villagers of Zhao Jiayu let go and eat alone. There is not necessarily a banquet of this scale once a year. The whole regiment killed a whole pig, plus several bags of seized canned food. Luxurious. And Izumi Sagiri, they're so delicious. I'm starving, and suddenly I want to eat canned food. Butterfly house owner, it's getting dark now. If you want it to not happen again in the future, it depends on how the weapon Tony gave. With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with the gods, absolutely no problem, just put 120 hearts. I haven't sent too many ultra-modern weapons yet, so let's talk about Yamamoto's special team resisting a cannonball first. After Li Yunlong left the burden in his heart, he was still very happy. After all, he was already very old, and he was married to a girl like Shokin who was like a flower and a jade. He saw the scene of the gun tower in Ping'an County through the memory copy, and he knew what an excellent other half he had met. He vowed to protect Shokin from any harm. Night fell. Old Lee was drinking alone in the wedding room, while Shokin sat in front of the bed. The yuhi hijab on her head had not been lifted. Old Lee, don't drink too much alcohol, it hurts your body, it's so late, let's rest early. The wedding night is known as one of the 4 great joys in life. Although Lee Yunlong is a rude, he still understands the truth. He walked to the bed and slowly opened Yuhi's hijab, and saw the flower-like jade beauty. A trace of guilt flashed in her eyes. Shokin, I can't stay here tonight. I'm a soldier and the leader of the independent regiment. I can't let my brothers freeze outside and enjoy myself on the calm. You stay and wait for me. There will be a lot of noise outside, but don't leave this house. After counting the time, the Yamamoto special team is about to take action. Lee Yunlong's body gradually shows a decisive temperament, and his majestic eyes make people dare not look directly. Old Lee, put on more clothes, it's cold outside, don't freeze yourself. Shokin didn't have any complaints, her eyes were full of understanding. This was the marriage she chose. She chose to marry a hero. A hero's life is full of dangers and ups and downs, and it is natural to have less company. Okay, I'll go and get back. Lee Yunlong took a deep look at Shokin, got up and left without looking back. There is a fierce battle to be fought tonight. He has already hinted at Zhao Gang. Now Zhao Gang should find out the identity of the traitor. Finally, I can check the weapon that Tony sent me. This cannon is much more advanced than his mother's Italian cannon. He found an open space and stacked all the equipment that Tony sent together. In his eyes, a good weapon is more attractive than a beauty. Those light AK-47s are like the Songhai with a twisted waist. As soon as the bullet was loaded, he could feel the power of the weapon. The most beautiful is the railgun. This weapon is top-notch even in the Marvel world. Unless it cooperates closely with Stark Industries, it is impossible to mass-produce it. After Tony's improvement, this railgun can be completely one-human operation. The process is fool-like, it can provide precise strikes, and the error is very small. This guy, where is the switch? Don't say I don't understand. I guess it won't help to find all the gunners of the independent regiment. Lee Yunlong couldn't put it down and looked at the railgun, but after searching for a long time, he didn't know how to fire it. This weapon does come with an instruction manual and an operation manual, but the key is that he can't understand it. What is this Yuhi-colored button for? When he arbitrarily pressed a Yuhi-colored button, a fire burst into the sky, disappearing from sight in the blink of an eye, and there was no time for anyone to react. Under the cliff behind Zhao Jiayu, a team of devils armed to Kiba's teeth has been lurking for a long time. This time, they are to destroy the headquarters of the independent regiment and carry out the beheading operation. All attention, strike. He made a downward cut from the right, and the devils of the special attack team began to use their equipment to climb up the cliff. According to the information of the traitor, this is the weak point of Zhao Jiayu's defense. Once it is broken, Zhao Jiayu's geographical advantage will be gone. But at this time, he vaguely saw a burst of fire, lighting up the night, and he subconsciously wanted to remind his subordinates, but the speed of the shell was too fast, and it exploded above their heads in the next second. Boom! The entire cliff collapsed in half, countless boulders fell, and at least half of the Yamamoto team was buried under the rocks. Baga! Yamamoto Izuki was thrown to the ground by his subordinates. He struggled to stand up. Seeing that the team suffered such heavy losses, he was so angry that he shot the traitor down, and he didn't even give the other party a chance to explain. It was said that it was a late-night sneak attack. Why did it suddenly change? Could it be that Lee Yunlong has the habit of coming out to train when he is halfway through his bridal chamber? Pass my order. Retreat. The plan has been revealed. The bullet just now scared them through their nerves. If it was an ordinary shell, they might have a chance to dodge. The speed of the railgun shell is several times higher than that of the ordinary shell, even if the brain has reacted. The body cannot keep up. I'm going, so much power, the whole Zhao Jiayu is shaken. All platoons of guards assembled. Put on my equipment, and kill this team of little devils for me. Li Yunlong found that the railgun had an automatic aiming function. With this treasure, it was even more powerful. He pressed the Yuhi-colored button again, and another shell exploded on the edge of the cliff. Not long after, the brothers in the Independence Regiment put on their standard equipment and charged forward with a roar. Chapter 112 My 358 Regiment must help the field. With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with gods. Did you guys see the power of railgun? This is only a C-level weapon. A-level weapons are enough to level a city directly. If there is a big boss need, Start Industries will also targeted development services can be provided to absolutely meet your requirements. Quote. Tony saw that the live broadcast was doing well, so he started advertising. As the top arms dealer in the Marvel world, he has a very keen sense of smell. The big guys in the group are much stronger than him. If he wants to get points, he must use your strengths to ultimate. For example, if the arms business is extended to the heavens and the world, if it goes well, he will not need to participate in dangerous missions in the future, and he will get a steady stream of points just by developing weapons. Butterfly House Owner. The effects of these weapons are okay, but at most they can only destroy low-level ghosts. When encountering an existence with blood ghosts, weapons alone are not enough, and it also depends on the strength of the user. Uncle Ying. Ms. Butterfly Ninja is right. When you reach a certain level of cultivation, flying flowers and leaves can hurt people. With a flying sword, you can kill enemies thousands of miles away. 6 paths in the 3 realms, you can come and go freely. Medusa. I think thought is the most powerful weapon. Weapons made of metal will decay one day, but thought may be passed down, Chio, for all generations, until eternity. With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with gods. How come the depth of this topic is getting higher and higher, and a railgun has something to do with thinking? I just want to sell some arms, what's wrong? It's so hard to do business with you. Why do you have time today? Have the affairs of the clan been arranged? At Medusa. Seeing Queen Medusa's ID, Baisu immediately recalled those unforgettable nights. The two had not been apart for a long time, but he missed them a little. If he has time, he would consider going to Dochi continent again to gather all kinds of different fires and awaken the power deep in Queen Medusa's bloodline, which is estimated to save a lot of points. Medusa. It's almost done. That child Dai always wants to see new things and is clamoring to see you. Why don't you send her to your world first and take care of me for a while? What is the situation? Baisu was stunned for a moment. Medusa wanted to send her sister to the world of Hokage for a vacation. Isn't Konoha about to turn the sky upside down? Needless to say, that woman Tsunade would probably use a loudspeaker to help him publicize this matter, the 4th generation of Hokage Jinya Zhengjiao 4X. Using this as a threat to extort him a lot of money. And Izumi Sagiri. There is an adulterer. Why does it sound like you have met in private? The leader of the group is too quick, and Sister Medusa is also my type. Chasing 10 school beauties this year. I take back what I said before, the group owner is interested in women. Jian Feng pointed at was invincible. Is this the sister-in-law? The sister-in-law is on top. Please accept the little brother's bow. ... Members of the group cheered together, but Baisu couldn't do anything about it. In fact, there was no problem with Dai going on vacation to Hokage. How could Konoha be so big that he couldn't hide himself? Baisu, cough cough. Dai can come to play if she wants to. Your sister is my sister, and I like Dai very much. You can tell her that she can come to me when she breaks through the Duhuang realm. Medusa. Okay, I'll bring the news to her. In the Tager Desert of the Jamma Empire, Queen Medusa wore a transparent veil, her beautiful face was looming, and after replying to the message, her mouth curled up, revealing an intoxicating smile. Sister, did Baisu agree? Tell me now, did he agree? Dai hugged her sister's neck and acted coquettishly, shaking her waist hard. She had no talent for running the affairs of the clan. Since Baisu left, she has lost a playmate, and Medusa has no time to accompany her. Boring to die for. Bai Su agreed, but he made a request. As long as you break through the Dohuang realm, you can go to his world. Queen Medusa gave her sister a doting glance. She has now reversed her own destiny, became the queen of the snake people and saved her sister's life. But she still didn't stop working hard, because she wanted to protect Dai for the rest of her life, and only unparalleled strength could do this. Ah, you have to break through Dohuang. Sister, why don't you talk to him about the conditions? Cultivation is the most boring thing. I used to watch him for you. You think, Bai Su is so good, there must be many women who want to get close to him. When I get there, I can use my sister's name to stop those little foxes, how about it? Am I good? As soon as Dai heard that she was going to practice, the expression on her face changed immediately. She is a butterfly who pursues freedom and hates any restraint. Her talent is even better than that of Medusa, but she rarely takes the initiative to practice, so her strength has arrived. After Duong reached its peak, it stopped. You little idiot, do you really think I didn't see it? Regardless of whether Bai Suhua cares or not, we must work hard to cultivate. The world is so vast, how could it be possible to travel to so many places with the strength of Duong alone? Come on, there will be 2 Dodi from the snake people in the future. Queen Medusa's eyes flashed with confidence. She is an ambitious woman. There are endless possibilities in the dimensional chat group. As long as you have enough points, you can use the points to smash into a Dodi. Ah, Dodi, God, it takes hundreds of years to cultivate. Flipped Byakugan and fell into her sister's arms. It seems that from tomorrow, she will work hard to improve her realm. In fact, she has already touched the edge of Dohuang. As long as she understands more about the power of space, she can succeed. Breakthrough. Bright Sword World. Jinsui Army, 358th Regiment. Report. According to reliable information, there was a battle in Zhaojiayu, gunfire rang out, and a group of little devils escaped from Zhaojiayu, just passing through our area. Do you want to block it? A correspondent shouted back the report. Their team was much better treated than the independent regiment. There was no dust on the uniforms, leather boots on their feet, and coal was burning in the room, and the temperature was suitable. Zhaojiayu, isn't that Li Yunlong's territory? Even the heavy artillery has been used, and I don't know if Li Yunlong's strength can hold it. The regiment seat, what should we do next? Will we support it? The chief of staff next to him reminded him, looking at a middle-aged man in the field, with a tall figure and an angular face. It is the group seat Chu Yunfei. Chu Yunfei is from Jiangdong, and he was born in Fazhang Junior College. Since the war started, he has devoted himself to the army and has the title of Living Guangdong on the battlefield. The 2 teams belong to 2 factions. According to the regulations, they are not allowed to assist the independent regiment at will. The best way to encounter this situation is to ask the superiors and leave them to the superiors to make a decision. It is estimated that Yamamoto Kazuki has returned to his hometown of Dongying. No matter who is beating the devil, my 358 regiment will definitely help out. Pass my order, 1st Battalion, 2nd Battalion, go all out, don't give the enemy a chance to react. Yes. Heroes cherish heroes. Chu Yunfei is also a proud and arrogant master, but in Zhexianlu, he joined hands with Li Yunlong, chatting and laughing, going to a banquet to kill the enemy, and the 2 regard each other as important confidants and opponents. If Yamamoto Kazuki kills Li Yunlong with the advantage of his equipment, he will be the first to avenge him. Yamamoto Izuki fled from the dark of the sky to the present, and before Chuan took a few breaths, he was bombarded again. Although this time it was not a railgun, his subordinates were like frightened birds. When they were not clear, they were shocked to death several. In the end, he took dozens of soldiers to break through the siege, and only escaped less than 10 people. He boasted in front of the ghost Xiling, claiming to be the most elite troops in the world, who can go deep into the belly of the enemy and carry out beheading operations. Disadvantage, it was destroyed in less than half a day. This kid Chu Yunfei is really interesting. Another day I have to invite him for a drink. This cannon was shot by the Yamamoto team. It's useless to cry for my father and mother. With the current strength of the Independence Regiment and Chu Yunfei's troops, can we easily take over the county seat of Ping'an? I have to think carefully about this matter. After the event is completed, it will be divided into 3 and 7, and I don't know if he will do it or not. After Li Yunlong chased this area, he found that Yamamoto had been almost wiped out. Seeing the elite equipment of the 358 Regiment, he couldn't help but make up his mind. Brother Yunlong, stay safe. I heard the sound of heavy artillery in the direction of Zhao Jiayu. I thought you. After Chu Yunfei received the news, he immediately rushed over on horseback. Although Li Yunlong was a mud-legged man, he respected him very much. In terms of talent, the two were actually almost the same. Ha ha ha, that heavy artillery is my collection. I didn't expect to surprise Brother Yunfei. It was really my fault. I will definitely correct it in the future. Li Yunlong laughed a few times. The most precious gift he got from the live broadcast this time was the railgun. It has auto-targeting and auto-navigation functions, which can precisely hit the target. This is not something you can buy with money. Way World's scientific and technological achievements. The Independent Regiment even has heavy artillery. Brother Yunlong has a bright future. I hope the two of us will not meet on the battlefield in the future. Although Chu Yunfei was amazed, he still chose to believe in Li Yunlong, a poor and weak team. How long has it been? Even with heavy artillery, it is entirely possible to surpass their 358 regiments if they continue to develop. Ha ha, I hope so. Who knows what will happen in the future. If Brother Chu strikes me first, I can't turn a blind eye. ... Ding. Since you changed the plot direction of Bright Sword World, the reward points are 300, please pay attention to check. After Bai Su left the live broadcast room, he quickly received this news. Any plot in each dimensional world can be rewarded with different points. If he changes the higher world, the points he will get will be more. Chapter 113 Kurumi's Private Chat. Bai Su, you really are here, I have something to ask you. A figure suddenly descended from the sky, with long chestnut hair and a strong black suit, full of heroic spirit. Kushina, what are you doing? Bai Su saw Uzumaki Kushina, her eyes lit up. This woman usually dresses at home and looks like a good wife. She wears a formal dress at the banquet, but rarely wears the Anbu ninja uniform. She is very satisfied with her current life and the role she plays. She is just a good wife and mother and does not want to recall her previous experience as a ninja. Minato. After hearing the news that Uchiha Obito is still alive, he went after him despite the objection of the third generation. I'm afraid. Uzumaki Kushina didn't say a word, tears flashed in her eyes, and she looked so delicate that it was easy for people to ignore her identity as Kyuubi, Nine Tails Jinchuriki Column Force. Going after Obito alone. A bold, worthy yellow flash. Bai Su gave a thumbs up, turned around and was about to leave, but he was stopped before he took 2 steps, so he couldn't help frowning and said, Ma'am, it's so late, it's not suitable for you and me to be alone, right? I should go back. He wanted to destroy Uchiha Obito from the very beginning. Who knew that the woman in front of him was overflowing with the heart of the Virgin, and she had to let Obito go. Now, even her husband was involved, and she came to intercede again. As a 4th-generation Hokage, do you really have the heart to see someone like Minato have an accident? Although he has an upright temperament, he is willing to sacrifice his life for Konoha. As long as you are willing to help me, I can agree to anything I ask for. You. Uzumaki Kushina is starting to panic now. She has seen the terrifying power of Rinnegan, and the summoned Ten-Tails body. Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path. She has never doubted the strength of Namikaze Minato, but the enemy is too strong. Her feeling is accurate. No wonder she has been having nightmares about being killed by monsters all this time. A wandering lonely soul has been staring at her in Konoha, and will shoot when she is weakened. Who would have thought that someone hailed as a Konoha hero could fall so far? Such a vicious design to frame his own wife. This kind of behavior is not even worthy of the word beast. According to our previous agreement, the little fox in your body is already mine, and I can take it away when I am in the mood. What else can you exchange? Ma'am, don't think too much of yourself. I'm Konoha's Hokage, but you can't just follow your husband to deal with problems, right? Minato is an adult and needs to be responsible for his actions. Baisu pointed at Uzumaki Kushina's stomach, scaring Kyubi, Nine Tails, to keep retreating into the corner of the cage. Looking at the entire Hokage world, he was probably the only one who could call Kyubi, Nine Tails, that way. If you refuse, I have nothing else to do. Seeing Baisu's firm attitude, Uzumaki Kushina blew a whistle, and the sound spread a long distance through the forest. Then she violently tore off her ninja costume, revealing her snow-white fragrant shoulders, and stepped forward to hug him. What are you doing? I'm accusing you of indecent assault. You let go, this is a hooligan. According to the rules of the Konoha Guard, you can be arrested. To struggle, this woman has used Kyubi, Nine Tails' power to hug her. If she moves a lot, it is very likely to cause damage to her, which will be even worse. Come on, there is movement ahead, there may be traces of 4 generations of Hokage. As expected of the 4th generation of Hokage, can he still be alive after being attacked by that terrifying monster? Konoha really has hope of returning to its heyday. The 4th generation of Hokage has once again guarded the village. I don't know how he is doing. We have to get to him as quickly as possible. ... A series of footsteps came into Baisu's ears. He secretly said that it was not good. He could use the Great Void technique to hide his figure, but this technique might trigger spatial fluctuations. He could not guarantee that it would not hurt Uzumaki Kushina. After all, she is pregnant. I found the target, that is. 4th Hokage, Sama, and Lord Hokage, are you all right? This 3rd generation Hokage, you are here too. We found the 4th generation target, his current state. Very good. ... When these ninjas found this place, they just found such a beautiful scene. Kushina's fragrant shoulders were half bared, and she didn't even wear kabuto. In a little while, what will happen in the forest? Baisu, look at your current appearance, what kind of decency? At this moment, an old and majestic voice sounded, and even the 3rd generation of eyes, Sarutobi Hiruzen, was alarmed. The monster that was bigger and terrifying than the tailed beast disappeared, leaving Baisu and Uzumaki Kushina in the forest. This is what to do. Are young people so energetic? You have to do it all over with a famous woman in Konoha, you are a teddy. To be honest, Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't want to talk to Baisu when he saw this scene, but he couldn't find a second person in Konoha who could fight against Rinnegan. He had to be patient and continue the work. Listen to my orders and leave. Yes. With his order, Anbu's ninjas disappeared in place one after another with the instant body technique. They are all Hokage guards trained by the 3rd generation. The good thing is not so stressful. Baisu, I give you an urgent mission to bring back Namikaze Minato intact. He went after Uchiha Obito. Being able to summon a psychic beast of the level just now, I'm afraid he has already activated Mangekyo Sharingan, so his purpose is self-evident, that is, to start when the human Jinchuriki column strength is the lowest, and want to mess up Konoha. How, is there a problem with this mission? Sarutobi Hiruzen is indeed a Hokage who has been a Hokage for so many years. He has a very thorough understanding of many interests. He learned from Uzumaki Kushina that when the force of the Jinchuriki column is produced, the power of the seal will loosen. I've been guarding it for a day. Okay, this is on me. I will run to the location of the rain country in a while, and I will just wait for my good news. Baisu finally nodded and untied Uzumaki Kushina's hands with great effort. Otherwise this woman would not be able to get off her body like a koala. Would that be great? Thanks to the 4 generations of Hokage, if there is any offense, please bear with me. Uzumaki Kushina nodded, and she was quite satisfied with the result of this treatment. Then what are you waiting for? Sarutobi Hiruzen and Baisu stared at each other for a few minutes, and couldn't help reminding them again. Okay, I'll get out right away, so that everyone won't be upset when they see me. Baisu raised his hand and surrendered. It would be ridiculous to set off immediately to the location of the Land of Rain once the rest time was not given. This way, he was alone and performed a Super S-level mission. The whole Konoha knew that he was a great inventor. If it works, many people will come to consult. The next day. Time Elf. I really slept for a long time. Lord Group Owner, have you missed me recently? Tokusaki Kurumi's voice is a little lazy, plus a hint of naivety. It's late at night, and it's easy to imagine. Since the end of the group mission, she has been diving, and she activated the Tao Enlightenment function, but I don't know what happened, and it lasted for several days. When she woke up, she found that her ability had greatly improved, and it was no problem to press the flame elf Wuhei Chinli to the ground and beat her. Butterfly House Owner. The group leader is in charge of all kinds of things, why would he care about you? Don't be sentimental. Ding, you have received a private message, please check it. He saw Tokusaki Kurumi private message him a picture, and when he clicked it, he suddenly felt a burst of blood. Kurumi was dressed as a student and looked innocent like a princess who came out of the painting. The world school she was in had a rule that girls' skirts should not be longer than the knees. The most fatal thing is that she lifts up with her hands. In addition to a pair of clean legs, there is a faint glimpse of other scenery. This sick girl dares to send private photos to this group owner. Don't you know that the leader of this group has an iron heart? Baisu snorted disdainfully, and clicked the picture to save it. This is evidence and cannot be easily destroyed. Do you still want to see it? It's another private chat message, which makes people have to think about it. What conditions? Baisu secretly sighed, it's all obsession. I didn't see this kind of picture in the dating battle at the beginning. Simple, the heart of an ocean. What the hell, you robbery. Baisu thought about it for a while, the heart of the ocean is not a bad thing, so far he has only made 2. No, this head can't be opened. 100 points. Minimum 500. 100 points. Deal. Ellipsis. After some haggling, he traded 500 points for 5 pictures, and then felt that everything was boring. Girl in a gothic outfit stood on the edge of a skyscraper, with a faint smile on her lips. Baisu, you are mine and no one can take it away. After some haggling, he traded 500 points for 5 pictures, and then felt that everything was boring. Girl in a gothic outfit stood on the edge of a skyscraper, with a faint smile on her lips. Baisu, you are mine and no one can take it away. Chapter 114 Unfinished Operation. If you want money or not, or if you want to die, it's up to you. Baisu quickly became vigilant. Tokusaki Kurumi's tone was exactly the same as someone's, as if he was abducting and selling a docile little sheep. Someone just used a set of books to cheat a lot of points from him. The spirit of time, ow. As expected of the man I liked, the self-control is still very strong. As a reward, these photos will be given to you for free. Ding, the spirit of time has sent a compressed package, please pay attention to check it. Tokusaki Kurumi in the compressed bag. The angles were very tricky. I didn't expect this sick girl to have the habit of taking selfies, and she was absolutely full of benefits. Thank you, Kurumi, but I'm busy, there's a fight that seems to have started, we'll talk later. Originally, Baisu was enjoying the welfare selfie, and suddenly felt a strong chakra fluctuation at the border of the country of fire. It is estimated that Namikaze Minato and Uchiha Obito have encountered it. Allah, then I won't bother you. If you have time, I don't mind if you come to Tiangong City to find me. What have you done to Sister Medusa? Maybe I can too. After Tokusaki Kurumi finished speaking, she hung up the call. After blackening, she was a full-fledged hunter. She had already set her sights on Baisu. According to her previous character, she would never give up if she didn't achieve her goal. What did you do to Medusa? This girl, what do you mean? Tokusaki Kurumi, by Soviet Union couldn't help but move. Is this tempting himself? Everyone in the dimensional chat group knows his relationship with Queen Medusa. Sick girl is really difficult to deal with. It seems that my state of mind is not enough to cultivate. Let's think about these things later. Namikaze Minato is a talent after all. It's better not to die in the hands of his own apprentice. He shook his head, stepped out one step, and walked directly through the space. The speed was even more terrifying than Hiraishin, and he quickly reached the place where the battle took place. A death battle between master and apprentice has begun. Due to the huge gap in realm, the two have not found any trace of Baisu. Obito, how did you become this way? Come back to Konoha with me. Everything can start over. Namikaze Minato saw the depravity of his former disciple, and his eyes could not help flashing regret. He was called Yellow Flash, and he was almost the most perfect ninja in Konoha, but the Battle of Canopy Bridge was his lifelong regret. In that stop, he successfully blocked Iwagakure's conspiracy, but almost lost 3 disciples. Yuan Yi-rin died on the spot. Uchiha Obito completely blackened and became Uchiha Madara's pawn. Although Hatake Kakashi saved his life, his heart also lost its light. After joining Anbu, he walked on the edge of darkness all day long, and his fate was rewritten. If he was given a choice, he would rather use the Hokage dream he had pursued all his life in exchange for the peace of the 3 disciples. Start over. Ha ha ha. Teacher, you are still so naive. Can Rin be resurrected after death? How can I go back to the past? This world is wrong. I want to recreate a world with Rin, and everyone who stands in my way will die, even you. Uchiha Obito laughs wildly. This is his truest side. The pain he experienced makes him twisted and crazy. No one can let him talk to. Namikaze Minato mentions this. It caused his emotions to fluctuate violently. Let me show you the true strength of the Uchiha clan. Susanoo. He directly used Rinnegan to summon Susanoo's true form, the size of which was larger than a mountain peak, showing the posture of a Valkyrie. The armor on the back changed into wings and equipped with double swords, which could soar in the sky. This, not Mangekyo Sharingan. What a terrible power. This is the first time Namikaze Minato has faced an enemy of this level. He really can't figure it out. Obito has only disappeared for a long time. How can his strength increase so much? Compared with the stupid appearance before, the chakra has skyrocketed more than 100 times. Is this the potential of the Uchiha family? As long as you open your eyes, it is worth the hard work of others for a lifetime, and even reaches a level that an elite ninja can't reach in their entire life. Die. Susanoo slowly raised the long sword in his hand, like a god of death in light blue armor, and the sword fell, and the whole mountain was news. The terrifying earthquake can be felt by half the country of fire. If we fight like this, isn't the country of fire? Namikaze Minato, as a cage-level powerhouse and a time-space ninjutsu-like Grandmaster Hiraishin, easily escaped this blow, but Susanoo's attack power is too terrifying. As long as Obito doesn't deliberately control it, he can even kill the fire overnight. The country is wiped off the map. Only use that trick, the unfinished art. Big Ball Rasengan. He concentrated the chakra in his hand, floated in irregular directions, and compressed it to form a non-attribute chakra ball with a diameter of 3 meters. The enemy who was hit would have chakra disorder in a short time, even if he didn't die. Will temporarily lose the ability to fight. This is a ninjutsu that he got inspiration from Tailed Beast Bomb and spent 3 years creating, but it is still a half-finished product so far, and its stability is not strong enough. Level. Boom. When he appeared again, he came directly behind Susanoo, and the terrifying power made the Valkyrie kneel on one knee, but this was already the limit. With his strength, he couldn't break Uchiha Obito's defense, and the opponent's chakra it is simply inhuman level, comparable to a tailed beast. Is this your power? Yellow Flash is just that. Kamui Shuriken. He infuses Kamui's power into the shuriken thrown by Susanoo, turning the shuriken into the shape of Mangekyo Sharingan, and the target hit by this shuriken will be swallowed into the alien space. Because there are so many, even Namikaze Minato, it is also very difficult to hide with the Hiraishin technique. Boom. Boom. ... Huge roars continued to sound in the distance, and the people of the country of fire all came out of their homes. As far as they could see, they saw an indomitable giant fighting, and every shot could destroy a mountain range. You too, it's a bit too much. If you go on like this, the country of fire will be gone. You really don't take my Hokage in your eyes. Baisu originally wanted to watch the show, but now he can't help but appear. He waved his hand, and the Kamui shuriken thrown by Uchiha Obito stopped in the air, controlled by an invisible force, slowly turned to ashes. Baisu, it's you again. Uchiha Obito's eyes flashed with fear. He managed to escape Baisu's fatal blow, but he didn't expect to be entangled by Namikaze Minato outside the land of fire. He was going to release Susanoo's state, observe the situation, and run away at any time. I didn't intend to hunt you down, but Namikaze Minato is Konoha's resource after all. If it is really solved here, where will my face go? You can only blame your good master. If it wasn't for him chasing you, you would have lived a little longer. Baisu pointed out again, the law of time was activated, and Uchiha Obito was directly fixed in place. The other party's Kamui space was ready to expand, but the action was slower than that of a snail, and there was no way to escape Baisu's domain. It's this trick again. How could your strength be so powerful that it's even more terrifying than the legendary god of ninjas? Uchiha Obito hates this feeling very much. He clearly has a large amount of chakra, but he can't move at all. To be precise, the time around him is abnormal, and even his thinking has slowed down. He saw Baisu floating in midair, and even though he was in the absolute defense of Susanoo, he felt a chill, which was a sign of extreme danger. Broken. Baisu flatly pushed out a palm and directly blew Susanoo into pieces. Uchiha Obito's body was severely injured, lying on the ground coughing up blood, which formed a stark contrast to the majestic appearance just now. Master Baisu, please don't kill him, leave him to me to deal with. I promise to give you a satisfactory answer. Namikaze Minato stepped forward and said the same thing as his wife. He wanted to make up for it too much, but in fact, their master-disciple relationship had already been riddled with holes and could not be made up at all. Leave it to you. Minato, do you really have the will of Hokage? You are talking about a serious overreach. You are not a leader in Anbu, and you have no experience in communicating with the torture section. Why is it so important the criminals handed it over to you? Go back. You are not in the business of this place. Baisu shook his head. He didn't have time to take care of the emotions of Namikaze Minato and others. Although he accepted this kind of task for the first time, he still had a bottom line. Namikaze Minato's requirements have seriously affected the rules taught in the book. Violation. He didn't kill Obito directly, because the hidden dangers in the Hokage world are not only Obito alone, but also others. Example, Ju is absolutely the product of Otsutsuki Kagaya's will. In order to resurrect his mother Kagaya, he extracted the human beings who were immersed in infinite Tsukuyomi in ancient times from Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path, as Kagaya's army, which is White Zetsu. White Zetsu has many clones, but most of them are weak in combat and can only be used for reconnaissance, but there are also those with extremely strong combat capabilities like Fei. He incited Uchiha Madara to fight with Senju Hashirama, assisted Madara to use the Hashirama cells in his mouth to open Rinnegan, modified the information left by the Six Paths Immortal Nenga Shrine, and led the way to save the Uchiha family to infinite Tsukuyomi. And pretended that Uchiha Madara created himself, merged with White Zetsu to become Akatsuki's absolute, manipulated Obito, and started a plan to recover the tailed beast. Chapter 115 Black Zetsu. Uchiha Obito in the system's quest list, but found that the two side quests were completely opposite, and the rewards were different. Branch Task 1. Compassionate Demons. Defeat Uchiha Obito and lead the opponent to the light. Reward 2000 points for one achievement. Task Branch 2. Cutting Weeds and Roots. Completely destroy Uchiha Obito. Reward a random sage art, and achieve 1 point. He didn't think about it for too long, and soon made a decision in his heart. Come out. The black hand hidden behind your back, in these eyes, you have nothing to hide. Baisu grabbed it with one hand, and a black shadow was pulled out of Obito's body. Obito's body was crushed by rocks in the Ninja World War, and it was replaced by the body of White Zetsu used by Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Obito let out an extremely painful voice. White Zetsu had already become a part of his body, and now it is equivalent to being torn apart from the middle, and ordinary ninjas have long since collapsed after this punishment. Fourth generation, U. Namikaze Minato was very anxious when he saw his disciple was in so much pain, but an extremely powerful chakra wave erupted between the two, forming a huge field that even Hiraishin couldn't get close to. Is this the power of the fourth Hokage, Sama? It's like a god. He finally realized the gap between himself and Baisu. There is an insurmountable gap between the two, and once he stumbles, he will fall into a bottomless abyss. Damn, why did you find me? How did this person's power come from? He clearly didn't take chakra fruit, so how could he reach the height of the six paths immortal? No, even the resurrection of the six paths can't do enough to live in the perfect Susanoo of Uchiha Obito. Black Zetsu finally appeared. It is the product of Otsutsuki Kagaya after being sealed by the six paths immortal, inherited the will of Otsutsuki Kagaya, and has been working hard to unlock the seal of the moon all his life. But its power is extremely weak, and it is best at deceiving people. After a long period of time, Uchiha Madara finally induces Uchiha Madara to believe the words on the stone tablet, and tries to use infinite Tsukuyomi to create a new world. Look at how ugly this guy is. Don't be nervous, I know you're trying to save the rabbit Otsutsuki Kagaya's body trapped in the moon. But you may not know that as long as I want, I can blow up the moon at will. Baisu waved his hand and pulled Black Zetsu in front of him, with a wicked smile on the corner of his mouth, which made Black Zetsu sweat continuously. Black Zetsu's courage is very small, and many times it only dares to shoot at children, otherwise the plan to resurrect Otsutsuki Kagaya would not have dragged on for so long. Big Lord, you are. Please spare me. I'm all acting according to the rabbit. Oh no, Otsutsuki Kagaya's will, I don't have the right to choose. Black Zetsu doesn't have a fixed form, and was scared to pieces by Baisu's 2 words. It is the product of Otsutsuki Kagaya, and his knowledge is not comparable to that of ninjas in the Hokage world. It knows that this world is not so simple. There are many powerful families outside this planet. Otsutsuki Kagaya is an outsider, and her mission is to protect the Tree of Gods. She violated her mission, took the chakra fruit as her own, and gained the power of immortality. She was afraid that one day the Otsutsuki family would send someone to liquidate her, so she frantically used the people of this planet to worship Matsuri. The Tree of God, who made the army of White Zetsu, was later sealed by his own son. Uchiha Obito, this is your last chance. I will seal your blood-stained boundaries. From today onwards, you must not carry the name of the Uchiha clan to do evil outside. If you still won't look back, this guy is where you are. A flick of Baisu's fingers, Black Zetsu turned into flying ash, and Uchiha Obito's eyes gradually lost their light. Obito, who has lost the bloodline boundary, has lost most of his chakras, and his strength is only at the level of Chunin. It is not bad to survive in this chaotic world. Among the branch tasks given by the system, he chose the first one and gave Obito a chance, not for 2000 points, nor for sympathy. This guy has fallen to such a level, it should be said that poor people have something to hate. Bar. He introduced the origin of Black Zetsu into Uchiha Obito's mind. As long as he is not a fool, he should understand that Obito is just a chess piece. Although he is a little more advanced than Uzumaki Nagato, there is essentially no difference. My eyes. What's wrong with my eyes? Uchiha Obito fell to his knees on the ground. After a person suddenly loses strength, it is easy to collapse directly. He has awakened Rinnegan, which is the top pupil technique in the Hokage world. Obito. Namikaze Minato wanted to step forward, but was stopped by Baisu. Minato is the kind of person who can give up his life at any moment, and can't stand any setbacks. Baisu is afraid that he can't bear the darkness in Obito's heart. Baisu, as the fourth Hokage, I order you to return to Konoha immediately, and you are not allowed to communicate with missing Ninuchiha Obito, otherwise you will lose everything you have. Fourth generation Hokage, Sama, you. Namikaze Minato couldn't understand. The will of fire in his heart told himself that he should not give up Obito, but he didn't take into account his inability to lead the other party to the light. Aren't you going yet? Coldly to Uchiha Obito, the opponent's strength is already at the top in this world, but unfortunately he picked the wrong opponent. Many thanks to the 4 generations of Lord Hokage for not killing. That scene just now, I will never forget it. After Uchiha Obito calmed down, he knelt down and said, what Baisu seals is his blood-stained boundary. He still has vision and can see the surrounding scenery of dozens of meters, but compared to before, he is no different from the blind. After he said this, he used the remaining chakra to leave here with a blink of an eye. His conspiracy failed, and he also lost the goal of life. It turns out that Infinite Tsukuyomi can't revive Yuanyi Rin, so what's the point of what he has always insisted on? He will not give up. He will continue to look for the possibility of bringing Yuanyi Rin back to life, because that lovely girl promised her confession before she died. Fourth generation Hokage, Sama, he lost a part of his body, why can't he return to Konoha to recuperate? He, S.A. Konoha hero. Namikaze Minato still felt extremely regretful in his heart that he had lost his disciple in the end, and there was no way to help him. According to his own ideas, Obito should be brought back to Konoha, and he should take care of him and lead him on the right path. Chapter 116 A new round of invitation opportunities. No, you can't afford this responsibility. Didn't Kushina tell you Obito's plan? He originally wanted to take advantage of Uzumaki Kushina's weakness and use Mangekyo Sharingan to control Kyuubi, Nine Tails, to destroy Konoha and start a ninja war. You also saw his strength just now. If I hadn't arrived in time, would you really have been intact? Baisu spoke without mercy. Although Namikaze Minato has Hokage qualifications, he is still too simple, someone who has never really experienced darkness, and his character is not stable enough, just like a meteor, bright but short-lived. Namikaze Minato, is this really salvation? Obito has gone the wrong way, surrounded by darkness, if there is no one to guide. The opportunity has been given to him, and the outcome depends on his own creation. Baisu shook his head nonchalantly. He didn't care about Obito's future. Endless troubles, but what he released today is just a mouse, so what if Obito can reach the level of a 6 paths immortal? He turned his hands into clouds, and covered his hands into rain, and he could suppress them with just one hand. Ding! Congratulations to the host, the group activity has reached the requirements, and you will get an invitation opportunity. Okay, can you invite new members again? Solving Obito's matter, Baisu suddenly received a system message. After so long, he could finally invite again. You go back first. Report what happened just now to Sandaime, don't play tricks in front of me, and if you dare to secretly run to find Uchiha Obito, you can move out from Konoha with Uzumaki Kushina. He turned his head and gave an order to Namikaze Minato. Kushina is the man's death point. When he returns to Konoha, the woman will definitely watch over Minato. Yes, the fourth Hokage, Sama. Namikaze Minato nodded. As a ninja, he must obey his mission. He must not violate Hokage's orders. He can only give up Uchiha Obito and rush in the direction of Konoha. Seeing Minato walk away, Baisu immediately called up the invitation interface, and invited more bosses to come over, and the group would be more lively. Would you like to invite new members? Yes. When he agreed, a series of prompts sounded instantly. Ding! Shangba joins the chat group. Ding! Kuroko Shirai joins the chat group. Ding! Chaofeng joins the chat group. Ding! Zhang joins the chat group. Ding! Feng Baobao joins the chat group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What the hell? There are 5 new members, and I am still very lucky. According to this situation, the adventure team will not be short of fresh blood in the future. Shangba, I didn't expect that all the leaders of the World Association were invited. This guy is a ruthless character, an absolute traitor in troubled times. He is the villain in The Wind and Cloud, he is taught by the old man of Sanju, he has outstanding martial arts, hockey leaks, he is ambitious, cruel, foresight, and delicate. Be careful not to trust anyone and have reservations about everyone. As a hero of a generation, he started his plan to encroach on the world of martial arts based on the principle of preferring me to lose the people of the world, and don't want the people of the world to lose me. The Mud Bodhisattva once gave him 4 criticisms, summarizing the fate of his life. The first 2 sentences, are golden scales a thing in a pond, they turn into dragons when they meet the wind and clouds, means that the dominance of the first half of his life was accomplished with the help of Nifeng and Bu Jingyan. The last 2 sentences, 9 Xiaolong's roars shake the sky, and the wind and clouds will be able to dive and swim, refer to the failure of Shangba, which is also caused by the wind and clouds. Kuroko Shirai, the main character of Science Super Railgun, a first-year student of Tokiwadai Middle School, a prestigious school in Academy City, and a junior girl and roommate of Masaka Makoto. The ability to move in level 4 space is a girl with brown hair with double ponytails. I admire Masaka Makoto very much, even to the extent of pervert, calling Makoto, sister. I like swimsuits and underwear with strong impact and little fabric, which definitely pleases Baisu. Chao Feng, born in the Liao Kingdom, grew up in the Song Dynasty, is actually a Khitan. Under the tutelage of Master Zanku of the Shaolin School and Wang Jiantong, the leader of the beggar gang, he has outstanding martial arts skills. He succeeded as the leader of the largest gang in the world, the beggar gang. Although this person is not very powerful in the dimensional world, he can satisfy everyone's fantasies about heroes. Although thousands of people go to me, Xiaomo is a great man, and he is as famous as you. A Jew is a Jew, all the nations of the world, for thousands of years, there is only one a Jew. The glory of this country, the life and death of floating clouds, what to fear in this body, teach Shan Yu to break the arrow, the 6 armies are easy to change, and the hero is angry. Zhang Ning, this name sounds a bit ordinary. Feeling like Jin Yichuan, Baisu didn't guess the identity of the other party for a while. It is said that Jin Yichuan has been diving since he changed his fate, and he has obtained so many goings. It is estimated that he is busy with starting a family and starting a business, enjoying the company of beautiful women, and living a happy life. It is also a choice. Feng Baobao, this melon baby is here too. She is the heroine of The World Under One Person, a temporary worker in North China, and a sloppy Qigong master with 3 appearances. There is a lack of memory of the past, the 3 views are different from ordinary people, and they have been pursuing their own life experience. And Izumi Sagiri, welcome newcomers to the group. Please report your measurements, weight and fruit photos, and all those who disobey will be killed. This year, chasing 10 school beauties, welcome newcomers to the group. Please report your measurements, weight and fruit photos, and those who disobey will all be killed. The strongest man in the world, welcome newcomers to the group. Please report your measurements, weight and fruit photos, and those who disobey will all be killed. Butterfly house owner, welcome newcomers to the group. Please report your measurements, weight and fruit photos, and those who disobey will all be killed. Before Baisu could speak, a group of diving group members became noisy. After all, the dimensional chat group has not been so lively for a long time. 5 people came in at a time, which added a lot of vitality to the group. Mrs. Guo. No, don't be so strict. If you joke too much, it will scare the newcomer away. And Izumi Sagiri. Ha 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 ha. Just kidding everyone. If there are any cute girls, please chat with me privately. Recently, the creation has reached a bottleneck again. I have torn dozens of sketches in a row, lacking inspiration. Chasing 10 school beauties this year. Sagiri girl, what kind of comics do you draw? Can you share it with everyone? At A Izumi Sari. And Izumi Sagiri. No, this is a book specially prepared for the group owner. I have signed a long-term cooperation agreement with the group owner. In principle, it cannot be shared with other group members. But girls can have exceptions, and you can watch my fine paintings for free at a small price. Chapter 117 Is the golden lin a thing in the pool? Okay. Is there going to be a sequel to Izumi Sagiri's book? But you can look forward to it. Each one is a work of genius, and it belongs to the kind that can be hidden in the corner for collection. Baisu secretly wrote down what he said to Izumi Sagiri, and plans to rush the draft at the right time. In fact, a set of 500 points is not expensive. After all, it is someone's hard work. Just selling it to him is equivalent to buying it. Stopped. Heroes of the rivers and lakes, would you like to join my world association and share the glory and wealth? At this moment, Shangba spoke. He hadn't figured out what the dimensional chat group was all about, but it didn't prevent him from inviting people in the group. Others are sitting on the throne of the gang leader of the World Association, and they hear the voices of the group members in their minds. Is it Yi who can transmit voices thousands of miles away? He founded the World Association, and ambitiously wanted to be the leader of the Martial Arts Alliance. For this reason, he was willing to give up everything, even his own son turned against him. The Mud Bodhisattva once gave orders for me, but the golden scales are nothing in the pool, they will turn into dragons when they meet the wind and cloud. Now that I have brought the wind and cloud into the World Association, I will definitely become the leader of the Martial Arts Alliance. In his early years, he spent a lot of money to ask the world's #1 fortune teller to approve his life, and obtain these 2 sentences. Now everything is developing according to the trajectory of destiny. After Nifeng and Bu Jingyan entered the World Association, their martial arts progressed rapidly, and they conquered the city and swept the land for the world, and laid a huge territory. If you score points, you will be sure to include the position of the Wulin leader in your pocket. Chao Feng, Tianxiahui, is it a new gang? In the beggar gang Chao Feng, I don't know where you are, and Chao couldn't tell the direction for a while. Why don't you show up and have a good time? Shangba, Your Excellency is so loud, you have never even heard of the World Association. According to my subordinate Bu Jingyan, the god of death, Bu Jingyan reported that he killed a gang called the Beggar Gang a month ago. Could it be you? Where is it? Chao Feng, ha ha ha, this old man is joking. The Beggar Gang is the largest gang in the martial arts. Although it is not as famous as a 1,000-year-old sect like Shaolin, it is definitely a first-class status. I just parted with my brothers, why? Will it be exterminated? Shangba was suddenly at a loss for words. What the heck is going on? He felt a little weird, but couldn't find the problem. There's no point in talking too fast. The easiest solution is for them to meet and fight head-to-head, and Akatsuki will know who wins and who loses. Feng Baobao. Hello everyone, I'm an employee of Nadutong Company. We deliver express here. If you have business, you can contact me. Hiccup. Shu Si, another bottle of Erguotu. In the office of Nadutong Company, a girl looks like a girl of 18 or 19 years old. Wearing a very simple white long t-shirt with messy long hair, with dull eyes and expressionless face, she was lying on the sofa in an indecent posture, with a straw stuck in her guodu in her hand. 55-degree spirits were similar to coke in her eyes. She is Feng Baobao. Don't look at her sloppy appearance now, but she has a very good foundation, a standard oval face, a fierce man, plus a tall figure and fair skin. As long as she maintains a clean and proper posture, she does not need to dress up deliberately at all. After a simple grooming will become more beautiful and moving. She has an authentic Sichuan accent, which sounds a bit natural. Her actual age cannot be verified, but she is definitely close to 100 years old. The Shusi in her mouth is the cadre of all express delivery, the head of the North China region, and the guardian of Feng Baobao. Is a ruffian young man who taught Feng Baobao a lot of strange things. For example, Feng Baobao's moves are named Away 18 styles, each of which is quite shocking. Yo, you're running out of drinks again. We're running out of metrics this month. Shusi saw the empty bottle on the table. Although he was used to it over the years, he was still a little speechless. This can no longer be described as drinking. Drinking is like drinking water, it is simply a ferry. Natudong is actually a special operations department disguised as a courier company, and their mission is to control the range and activity of inhumans. When the superior leader came to the assessment this month, he specially inspected the warehouse and found thousands of boxes of erguotu empty bottles. At that time, the leader's face became dark and he directly deducted half of the next month's activity funds. Because they are all performing extremely dangerous tasks, it is expressly stipulated that they cannot drink alcohol during work. How should he explain to the leader that the 1,000 boxes are all drunk by the little ancestor in front of him? I don't care, Shusi, another bottle of erguotu should be at 55 degrees. By the way, there are a lot of voices in my mind. I feel that they are all talents, and they speak nicely. I really like to be in it. Feng Baobao didn't cry or make trouble. She simply put the empty wine bottle on the table. She knew that Shusi would not object to her. After all, she sent away Shusi's grandfather. Speaking of which, she was Shusi's elder. Voice. Could there be a problem with your chi? It sounds a bit like going crazy. Sister Bauer, don't scare me. When Shusi heard this, his originally cynical face immediately became a little more serious. Feng Baobao's identity is extremely mysterious and special. It is related to the Joshan rebellion decades ago, and he has known Feng Baobao since he was a child. The friendship between the two is not too deep. It's not crazy. Where do you want to go? Go to erguotu, I'll chat with them for a while. Feng Baobao shook her head calmly. She looked like she was naturally dumb, and her mind sank into the dimensional chat group again. She liked the dimensional chat group a little bit, because Shusi and the others protected themselves too well, and she didn't have much opportunity to get in touch with the outside world. When did I join the dimensional chat group? The name is so strange. The name of the group owner is Bai Su. I don't remember. A man with such a handsome name should not be a lecherous uncle. After entering the group chat, Kuroko Shirai observed the group members and chose to dive and wait and see. She was in a futuristic city. As a member of the discipline committee, she was on a patrol mission with the team. But in the next second, she suddenly became a nympho, and left the chat group directly behind because her target appeared. At the corner of 100 meters away from her, there was a super sassy senior sister, with shoulder-length brown hair, brown pupils, eyes that would never admit defeat, and a very pretty face that didn't require makeup. Chong, Super Railgun, ranked third among the 7 superpowers at Pantai Middle School, and Misaka Makoto, known as Tokuadai, S-Ace, and the most invincible Dengeki princess. Chapter 118 The Book of Rescue. My elder sister belongs to me, let's do something in this romantic city. Shirai Kuroko followed quietly behind her. She didn't notice that Misaka Makoto's temples were jumping with blue veins. She was deliberately holding back her anger. Knocked out. Misaka Makoto is also speechless. How can there be such a nympho roommate? Hokage world. Ah. Baisu touched his nose and muttered dissatisfiedly. Someone must be talking bad about me behind my back. How could someone like me catch a cold? He has solved the hidden danger of Obito, and the main quest in the Hokage world is basically half completed, and now he is also watching secretly to see the performance of the new group members. The debate between Xiangba and Chao Feng has already kicked off. Of course, if there is a real fight, Xiaofeng is probably not an opponent, because he is in a pure martial arts world, and Shangba's world has already involved the level of Shenxia. Become a demon, if it weren't for the two nemesis of Fengyan, the final outcome is difficult to say. Di Shishan is known as the god of immortality and the rule of the world, but when Shangba was alive, he didn't even dare to let out a fart. The most powerful thing about Shangba is not his martial arts, but his fate. Juggernaut burns his life to create the Sword 23. He can obviously kill Shangba but is disturbed by outsiders. This is his fate. When he is at his peak, who will compete with him? It is a pity that success is also a situation, and failure is also a situation, and everything is ultimately beyond the will of God. The beggar gang. The world will be ridiculous. Is this the inferiority of the world? Divide gangs and pursue the so-called number one in the world. What if you get the number one? Life is short, but 100 years in a hurry. Waste all your time on this. Aren't you afraid of a fight? At this moment, a slightly mocking voice appeared. Zhang Ming, who was diving originally, appeared. He seemed to despise Shangba and Xiaofeng, and there was a sense of superiority in his words. Who is this Zhang Ming? The name seems to be very ordinary. Could it be the protagonist of a certain world? Bai Su secretly muttered a few words. The hegemony at his peak was considered a hegemon, and even Emperor Shishan had to retreat. Zhang Ming's words were too full. Humph! What are you? You dare to speak out against the old man. What a man wants is to give orders to the world. Don't you dare not obey. Is it a hero to hide in the mountains and wash clothes like a girl? Shangba snorted coldly. He has always been very contemptuous of seclusion. He had the standard of a strong man a long time ago. Yan Ying, the king of Niren who has been in the world has not been defeated by his own hands. He betrayed his master's sect and used his talent to fuse the three divine arts. What he wanted was to be the best in the world. I don't mean to fight hard, it's just that the reputation of the beggar gang is related to the food and clothing of the 100,000 brothers. When someone asks you, you have to come forward. Your words don't sound like people walking in the rivers and lakes. Dare to ask your surname. Big name. Xiaofeng was drinking in the restaurant, and when he heard Zhang Ming's words, he couldn't help but let out a small chuckle. Although he didn't agree with Zhang Ming's words, he really appreciated the unrestrained manner in the other party's words. Humanity is insignificant, immortal Tao is wild. Ghost Road Lexi, when a person gate of life. Immortal Guisheng, the ghost is precious. Shandao Chong Ziji, ghosts often commit suicide. High and refreshing, elegy long space. Only wish immortality would be successful, do not want to be poor. Izumi Chufu in the northern capital, there are thousands of ghosts. But if you want to stop people, cut off the gate of life. Aaron Song Cave Chapter, to photograph Bei Luofeng. Reciting Zoroastrians, cut the 6 ghost fronts. All heavens, I am prosperous. Zhang Ming's voice had a hint of etherealness, and it sounded slowly in the dimensional chat group. Even across the dimensional barriers, the group members could feel a majestic breath. Huang Zhangdalu stopped what he was doing. So profound and moral. Where does this Shangtai learn from? I am afraid that his strength is 2 or 3 realms higher than mine. This talent is no different from that of the Maoshan Patriarch. Lin Zhengying was holding his breath and drawing a purple talisman, but after hearing Zhang Ming's Daoyan, the brush in his hand flickered, and the entire talisman fell short, wasting a lot of materials. But he was not annoyed, he was also a cultivator and deeply felt Zhang Ming's strength. Salvation. It turned out to be him. With a flash of light in Bai Su's eyes, he finally remembered Zhang Ming's identity, the world of immortal sword, and the most terrifying disciple in the history of Shushan, Zhang Ming. Zhang Ming was originally an orphan of unknown origin, who was brought back to the sect by the head of a certain generation of Shushan. This person brought a catastrophe to Shushan and almost ruined the foundation of Shushan for thousands of years. The so-called salvation of human beings, the full name of Tai Shengang Zan Lingbao Infinitely High-Grade Wonderful Classic, is a classic of Taoism Lingbao school. Wears 61 volumes. The first volume is the text of Salvation of Human Beings, which is one of the ancient Lingbao classics. They all affirm the truth and are the first of the three caves. The immortal way is precious, and there is no measure of human beings. It is said that fasting and chanting sutras have great merits, eliminating natural disasters, protecting the emperor, and poisoning the people in the next. Both men and women are protected, and they can live forever. Your Excellency is really profound. Shangba is stunned when he sits on the throne now. What the hell is this? Although he couldn't comprehend the meaning of the paragraph just now, he almost brought his spirit into an incomparably grand world. He hasn't met for a test yet. Just a few words made him look like this. Wouldn't it be great if he actually showed up? Is there really such a horrible person in this world? He thought Wu Ming was death, and the Sword Emperor retired. It was finally his turn to dominate the arena, but now an immortal existence suddenly popped up, and he felt a little bit unbearable. Feng Bao Bao. Huh, the song you just sang was very nice, even better than the folk song sung by Sichuan Machuo. Zhang Ming, does the girl understand the meaning of my words? Feng Bao Bao, which one doesn't understand? Shusi and the others always call me Guwazi, but I'm not a melon at all, most of the time I'm witty. Zhang Ming. Sword World, Shushan. A young man in a white robe is meditating on a lonely peak. He has been practicing Taoism for 20 years. His cultivation has surpassed that of all the disciples of Shushan, and he is no different from the master. In time, he will soar to the sky, surpassing the palms of all dynasties. Reaching the legendary fairyland is not necessarily. Zhang Ming, come here, I have a task for you. At this moment, the sound came, he immediately stopped meditating. Yu Jian flew into the Shushan hall, and his master was looking at him with a kind gaze, as if he was looking at the most perfect work in the world. Recently, the mountain has not been peaceful, and plagues have spread everywhere. As a disciple of Shushan, it is your duty to save the people of the world. Would you like to go down the mountain? Chapter 119 Domination of the Three Absolutes. The disciple obeys the teacher's orders, and will save the people from water and fire. Hiroshi will raise the Shushan Avenue. Zhang Ming kneeled on the ground respectfully and swore loudly. He has great respect for his master. If it hadn't been for the master who saved him, he would have no way to live as an orphan who was abandoned in the wilderness, and he would have no chance to come into contact with Taoism. Okay, go and get back. The head of Shushan touched his beard and nodded with satisfaction. He was ready to hand over the future of Shushan to Zhang Ming 10 years ago. People who practice Taoism often regard female sex as a taboo. If they come out by themselves, the two can be said to be a father-son relationship. Zhang Ming packed up Li. He couldn't bear to come to the dimensional chat group. He grew up in Shushan since he was a child, and even if he had few desires, he couldn't help but have a little curiosity about the outside world. When he met the master just now, he did not mention the existence of the chat group. One of the reasons was that his cultivation was almost the same as that of the master. The master only had decades more experience than him, but he did not understand the Tao. How much higher? He found that a person with the title of the group owner appeared, and just one sentence aroused his interest. Bai Su, welcome to the 5 big guys who have just joined the group. Don't doubt anything, we all come from different worlds, I mean in the original world, we would never meet. The dimensional chat group will encounter many challenges in the future. Please sign up actively. The specific intensity of the challenge can be found in the memory copy of the top war, which can be found in the group file. Different world, heaven or demon? What is a memory copy? Zhang Ming couldn't understand the meaning of the group owner, but he subconsciously flipped through the group files and found a copy of the memory of the war on the top. When he saw Whitebeard's punch shattering the entire sky, he couldn't help gasping for air. It's hard to pick a few with this level of combat power in Shushan. Feng Bao Bao, are you also aliens? Fortunately, you are not in our world. Otherwise, the employees who have access to everything can be laid off collectively. How can this kind of power be limited? Chao Feng, the power of one punch, and even this, is really a god. It turns out that you are all immortals. It's really rude to brag about the world meeting just now. Shangba wiped the cold sweat from his forehead. A mountain is still a mountain high. Looking at a row of IDs in the group now, he suspects that he can't beat any one of them. Speaking of different worlds just now, the bosses in the group should be the strongest in their respective worlds. Jian Feng pointed, was invincible. What did you do earlier? Now you know how to flatter you. Tell you, it's too late. I'll remember it later. Just follow the group owner. Let's eat and drink spicy food. The owner of the group can see the fate of everyone. If you are pleasing to the eye, maybe he will help you avoid some doom, and it will be difficult for you to die at that time, understand? Li Yunlong finally breathed a sigh of relief. The few newcomers who came here just now, each breathed louder than the other, were so frightened that he didn't dare to bubble for a long time after diving. Just looking at the memory copy of Whitebeard's battle is scary. If you know the strength of the leader of the group, is it still good? In fact, he has never seen Baisu fighting, but it can be seen from the usual exchanges between the big guys in the group that Baisu's strength is far more than Whitebeard. Can you see everyone's future? How is this possible? Heavenly Path does have rules, but if you want to understand the rules, even immortals can't do it. Could it be that the group leader has reached a level above immortals? Zhang Ming Yujian flew, but he was quite unconvinced. He heard from his senior brothers that there was a kind of warlock at the foot of the mountain. He used a little skill to tell people fortune-telling to defraud huge sums of money. Through Akatsuki's fate, it's incredible that someone has said it now. Jian Feng pointed at was invincible. Humph. What is an immortal? I really don't know anything. A punch from the group master can shatter the entire sky. Even an immortal can't take a single blow. Forget it. What am I telling you about? The group owner doesn't have time every time, and you want to ask the group owner to predict the future without preparing a treat. How can there be such a good thing? Li Yunlong's loyalty is very timely, perhaps because he has experienced too much on the battlefield. He is a man who knows the timing very well. Hitting a snake and hitting 7 inches, a few words will calm the new group members. With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with gods. I'm a good boy, how can you be better than me? Tony Stark put down the welding gun in his hand with a displeased expression on his face. He should be the one who appeared next to the group owner at this time, but since Li Yunlong joined the group, he can only grab the second position. No, he is the man closest to the group leader. This throne cannot be given to others. When the group leader appears in the future, I must be at the forefront. Ding! Shangba sends an exclusive Yuhi bag. Please pay attention to check it. Huh, with Yuhi bags, I didn't expect new members to be very polite. Baisu blinked, and he casually opened the Yuhi bag, which immediately picked out 3 groups of dazzling brilliance. Ding! Congratulations on getting the Frost Fist. One of the 3 Masters of Dominance, and also the Master of Tianshuang Hall, Qin Shuang, has a total of 10 moves and 14 styles. With one punch, the cold air permeated the air, and it was frozen into frost within 4 feet and 5 feet. Ding! Congratulations on getting the Cloud Dispelling Palm. One of the 3 Masters of Shangba, with the meaning of Cloud Impermanence, the moves are erratic, elusive, and powerful. Ding! Congratulations on your function legs. One of the 3 Masters of Tyranny, with the meaning of Wind Without Phase, it is an extremely fast and extremely fierce leg technique. It is elusive to carry forward the Catch the Wind and the Shadow, to the ultimate, which is called the Wind and Foot Shadow. These 3 skills can be said to be the unique skills of the tyrants. Of course, there are also the more powerful 3-point Divine Finger and 3-point Return to Vitality. It is necessary to integrate the 3 skills, and only he can exert the greatest power. Shangba, master of the group, the clay bodhisattva once gave orders for me. How can the golden lin be a thing in the pond, and it will turn into a dragon when it meets the wind and cloud? Now that I have obtained the wind and cloud, I don't know what my fate will be in the second half of my life. It was only at this time that the group members realized that they wanted to know their future destiny, but many group members don't need this kind of unpopular exercises, and it doesn't make any sense to Baisu. Baisu, how do you say it? Martial arts are not very strong, but their fate is very strong. Even if a strong enemy comes, they will be inexplicably defeated by you, or simply miss you. The duel. But the success is also the situation, the defeat is also the situation, and your end is also very miserable, and it is almost impossible to change. Quote. Chapter 120 I control my own life. Success is also the case, and defeat is also the case. How do you say this? Shangba is on the throne of the World Association, and his brows are wrinkled into Sichuan characters. The words of the group leader make him have deep doubts about his own destiny. Are you kidding me? It will work for a while, but it won't work for a while. I will leave it in circles for the rest of my life. Baisu, because you are stubborn and suspicious, and you designed to frame your own disciple. In the end, the master and the disciple turned against each other and lost everything. But all this is fate, like a surging river, unstoppable. From the plot of the situation, Shangba is digging holes for his disciples step by step, and at the same time digging holes for himself, which leads to several twists and turns in his fate, and finally fails to fulfill his wish to dominate the world. It seems that there is an invisible hand driving all this. Some people say that Shangba is destroyed because of character, but isn't character also part of destiny? To say that the old boy Shangba is also full of bad water, Qin Shuang's wife lying in Bu Jingyan's arms and saying that she loves Nifeng, this relationship is simply the ultimate torture. It is really hard for him to come up with so many tricks. My fate is up to me, thanks to the group owner for your approval, but I don't believe in fate myself. Shangba's face has changed. He has been pursuing the position of the leader of the Martial Arts Alliance all his life. How can he be willing to be defeated by that illusory fate? Someone, tell me that Qin Shuang will come to see you. He clapped the table and gave a loud order. Not long after, a young man with a plain face came to the room and saw that he was not looking well, with concern in his eyes. Master, you call me. Qin Shuang dresses elegantly, and his face is not handsome. He is the senior brother of Bu Jingyan and Nifeng. He is the most mediocre in martial arts among the 3 disciples of Shangba, but he is upright and sincere, and he is a very gentle man. Hurry up and invite Mud Bodhisattva to see me. If I can't be sure of my fate for the rest of my life, I won't feel at ease even if I take the seat of the leader of the Martial Arts Alliance. Shangba waved his hand, and now he is the head of the World Association, and he has countless followers in his hand, and people like Mud Bodhisattva must be used by him. Master, my disciple heard that Ni Bodhisattva suffered retribution for revealing the secret, so he stays behind all day long, and now he lives in no fixed place, and no one knows his whereabouts. Qin Shuang had an embarrassed look on his face. He went to inquire about the whereabouts of Ni Bodhisattva some time ago, but the feedback he got was like this. Because he was too busy with his usual affairs, he temporarily left this matter behind. Brought up. In fact, the first time Mud Bodhisattva gave orders for Shangba, he got a complete prophecy, but in order to avoid disaster and save his own life, he deliberately did not say the last 2 sentences, but in the end he could not escape the claws of Shangba. Look for it. Even if you dig 3 feet in the ground, you have to find it for me. You are limited to 3 months to complete it, otherwise you will give the seat of your hall master to your brothers. Shangba snorted coldly. He doesn't care how difficult it is to find the Mud Bodhisattva, he only cares about his grand ambitions. Yes, master. This disciple must try his best. If he fails to achieve his goal, he will never give up. Qin Shuang issued a military order, bowed and walked out. It's interesting. Can you tell me about my future destiny? If it's true, I can teach you Shushan's Shanfengyan fighting technique. Zhang Ning smiled. In his eyes, Shangba or Chao Feng were just mortals. These people will be trapped in their own destiny, but they are different. He has been cultivating Tao since the day he was ignorant, and he has not encountered any bottlenecks all the way up to now. The master commented that he is a rare genius who was born for Tao. The mere fate, how can I trap myself? Bai Su, you are a very interesting person. I am very interested in you, so the future budget should be more precise. What are you busy with recently? Zhongming, there was a plague under the mountain of Shu. The master knew the suffering of the people and sent me down the mountain to save the people from the fire and water. Hiroshi taught the law of the mountain of Shu. Oh, no wonder this kid is still so stubborn, and he hasn't encountered any setbacks. However, according to the development of the plot, Zhongming's doomed catastrophe will soon come. Even a genius who is rare in 1,000 years is just a cultivator. He doesn't even have the fruit of the Tao. Bai Su, after you go down the mountain, you will encounter a love calamity, and love robbery will refine your heart, but you will destroy your own way of doing things, and you will almost wipe out the entire Shushan mountain, making an irreparable mistake. Nonsense. I heard from the juniors who went down the mountain to say that there is a kind of physiognomist who was deceived by the people. It shouldn't be you, right? In the future, I will take over the heavy burden from the master and carry forward Shushan. How can I do such a thing? Zhongming interrupted Bai Su impatiently. He regarded himself very highly and cherished Shushan very much. He would never have thought of how heartbreaking what happened in the future. Otherwise, he would not have killed his senior brother. Imprisoning himself for 100 years in the state of the soul, unable to become enlightened, and unable to disappear in this world, living in pain forever. And Izumi Sagiri, confidence is a good thing at first, but in front of the group owner, it's not necessary to be too confident, right? The group has a lesson from the past. Chasing 10 school beauties this year. Brother Bai, it's okay if people don't appreciate it. Just don't cry if you suffer a little later. By the way, I heard a news that was terrifying recently, saying that the entire mountain village had disappeared. Someone found a monster nearby. Any pics? Send me a look. Bai Su frowned slightly. He has always been concerned about the development of the super god world. He has no opponents in the main world of Hokage, and the super god world has the existence of the main god level. It is a good place to exercise. Maybe you can get surprises harvest. Ding! Chase 10 school flowers this year to share a picture. JPG. Jay Shaolun took a photo from the forum, which was taken by the locals. In the photo, it was a human-shaped monster with wings on its back. It looked like a kiba, and its face was very ugly. Devil, Jay Shaolun, send me your location, I'll be there soon. Bai Su secretly said that it was not good. The vanguard of the demon civilization was probably already here. They had the technology of genetic reincarnation and could resurrect dead warriors on human bodies.